Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is Michael Adu.
Thank you very
Assistant
much.
Auditor General, Audit Service.
Now, the Attorney General had to take an oath.
Good morning.
In
My name is Kwaju Chairman.
the rest of us,
Assistant Auditor General, Audit
members of the
Service.
committee, may we introduce ourselves before we go to the Attorney General? Okay. Honorable Minister, your infraction is on paragraph 1865. And Honorable Kunedu,
Chairman, my name is
will take care of that one, please.
Kapla, MP for Jirapa,
Thank you
member
very
of
much,
the
Mr.
committee.
Chairman.
Good morning, Madam Chair. My name is
Honorable
Godfrey
Minister,
Seidu Jesao. I'm
this
MP
infraction
for Wa
happened in
East
the
and a
Ashanti
member of the
region.
committee. Thank you.
And it has to do with 3 staffs that are separated
Geoffrey
with the
Guinea is my name.
Office of the Attorney
I
General.
represent the good people of Nkwanta
I,
South and a member of the
Faisal
committee.
Abdul Salam. That is a
My
senior
name is
state
Frank
attorney,
Yabua, MP for Achuma
Mubarak,
Nwabiaja North in the Ashanti
Assistant
region,
State Attorney,
a member of the committee. Thank you.
and Charlene Amangwa.
Hello, good morning.
She
My
was
name
also
is
an
Akwesi
assistant
Kunedu,
state attorney.
the member of parliament
They
from Eshano
separated
constituency in the Ashanti
But you
region,
verified
and a
them
member of the committee.
and paid them an amount of 100.
My name is Kwame
2,000
Jolly
Ghana
Gabel, member of
cedis.
parliament for Keta.
The auditors
and then the
recommended
deputy ranking for the
recovery
committee.
of that amount. We want to
Good
know if
morning.
that
My
has
name
been
is
done.
Samuel Atamils, MP for Commander Edina Eguafo Abrem,
Yes,
the
thank you
ranking
very much,
member of
Mr.
the
Chair.
committee, and
My
now
chief
presiding.
director will respond to the query.
My name is Abna Osei Asari, Member
Yes,
of Parliament for
Mr.
Itiwa
Chair,
East and
the
Chairperson
amounts have been
of the
recovered
committee.
from all 3
Today I
staff.
have my private
and
lecture sitting in front
we
of me.
deposited the receipts with the Office of
Honorable
Attorney
Attorney
General.
General, could you please
Sorry,
introduce
Auditor
yourself
General.
in your
Thank
team?
you.
Auditors, can you please
Thank you
confirm
very much,
yes, that you've eluded us with a recommendation
Madam
of
Chair
recovery
and
for the agents who
ranking
are here
member
today?
who is
We're thinking
presiding.
that
My
probably
name is
it would have been one
Dominic
that he
Atulutenga
himself
Yene,
would have enforced.
Attorney General
But,
and Minister of Justice.
This one, you asked
I'm
for
here
recovery.
with my
He
team,
said they've recovered and shown evidence to you.
comprising
Can
the
you
chief
verify same for us?
director, Mrs.
Honorable
Fati
Chair, the entire
Bodua
amount has been
Seidu,
recovered, even with addition
And then
of interest. They
I have-
also
Could you,
recovered
could you
interest
please allow them
in
to
addition
introduce
to
themselves?
That's
the
fine.
amount.
Okay.
Good Chairman,
Yes,
recommendation
good
has
morning,
been adhered to.
Mr. Chair. My name is Fati Bodua.
Thank you
Seidu.
very
I'm the
much,
Chief Director.
Attorney
Thank you.
General. You are discharged. The oral team is waiting for you.
I'm Josephina Atoshiwa,
Thank you very much, Chair and members of the committee. I'm most
State
grateful.
Attorney, Ashanti region.
Thank you. Now let's go judicial service.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is Ali Seno, Administrator, Ashanti Region.
What about the auditors, please?
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is Michael Ado, Assistant Auditor General, Audit Service.
Good morning. My name is Kwaju Chairman, Assistant Auditor General, Audit Service.
Okay. Honorable Minister, your infraction is on paragraph 1865. And Honorable Kunedu Akwesi will take care of that one, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Could the clerk make
Honorable
sure they
Minister.
take the oath, please?
This infraction happened in the Ashanti region, and it has to do with 3 staffs that are separated with the Office of the Attorney General, i.e. Faisal Abdul Salam. That is a senior state attorney. S. Mubarak, assistant state attorney, and Charlene Amangwa. She was also an assistant state attorney. They separated, but you verified them and paid them an amount of 102,000 Ghana cedis. The auditors recommended for a recovery of that amount. We would want to know if that has been done.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. My chief director will respond to the query.
Yes, Mr. Chair, the amounts have been recovered from all 3 staff. And paid, and we deposited the receipts with the Office of Attorney General. Sorry, Auditor General. Thank you.
Auditors, can you please confirm, yes, that you've eluded us with the recommendation of recovery? For the agents who have been here today, we're thinking that probably it would have been one that he himself would have enforced. But this one, you asked for recovery, and they said they've recovered and shown evidence to you. Can you verify same for us?
Honorable Chair, the entire amount has been recovered, even with addition of interest. They also recovered interest in addition to the amount.
Good Chairman, the recommendation has been adhered to.
Thank you very much, Attorney General. You are discharged. The oral team is waiting for you.
Thank you very much, Chair and members of the committee. I'm most grateful.
Thank you. Now let's go judicial service, please. You could please have a seat and then introduce yourselves to the committee.
Good morning, Madam Chair and distinguished members of the committee. My name is Musa Ahmed. I'm the Judicial Secretary.
Good morning. Respectfully, my name is Justice Srakus Bapuro. I'm the Deputy Judicial Secretary.
Could the clerk make sure they take the oath, please? Please speak into the mic. And when you are done with the mic, please turn it off.
Honorable Chair, my name is Niboy Kwoti, Director Administration.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is Mrs. Veratechi, Director of Finance.
Honorable Chair, my name is Frederick Bedu, Director of Human Resources.
Honorable Chair, my name is Charles Aiden, the Deputy Director of Finance.
Honorable Chair, my name is Doris Ehonam Aka, Accountant.
Honorable Chair, my name is James Afezi, Regional Accountant, Central Region.
Okay, we'll start from your head office. And infraction is on paragraph 1868. And Honorable Konedo will take care of that one.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, this infraction has to do with some payments that were made by the Judicial Service. And these payments were made on invoices that were not VAT invoices, which the law stipulates that we ought to have VAT receipts for invoices that we made. So the auditors going through your IGF account found that you made payments to the tune of 91,920 Ghana cedis, all of which they were not covered by VAT invoices. And their recommendation was that
by the Almighty God,
VAT invoices
that the evidence I shall
be recovered on these amounts, failing which the Director of Finance must pay, or the Judicial Secretary must recover these amounts and pay. We would want to know, Judicial Secretary,
and nothing but
I'm sure you tell us you have VAT invoices to cover, or you paid.
Thank you for your question. Madam Chair, I'm happy to inform the committee that we have complied with the infraction. We have remedied the situation, and we have before you the exhibits.
You could please have a seat
evidencing
and then introduce yourselves to the committee.
Has these receipts been shown to the auditors?
Good morning, Madam Chair and distinguished members.
Honorable Chair, the receipts have been shown to the
name is
auditors.
Musa Ahmed,
And
the
we
Judicial Secretary.
have an amount of 11,783.9,
Good morning.
for which
Respectfully,
the suppliers are yet to bring in
my
their
name
VAT
is
invoices.
Justice Srakus Bapuro. I'm the Deputy Judicial
So for
Secretary.
those that were recovered, when were these invoices recovered from the suppliers? That is the over 80,000 that has been recovered. When was these invoices recovered?
Please speak into the
We
mic.
recovered them from the period audit observation.
And when
was
you are
done
done with
up
the
till
mic,
now.
please stand
But
it
some
up.
of the suppliers, you call them, they don't take
Honorable
We are
Chair,
following up at
my
their
name is
premises to
Niboy
get
Kwoti,
the VAT invoices
Director
and
Administration.
attack them for the auditors to look at. Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is Mrs. Vera.
So you said you showed the
Director of
80,000
Finance.
recovered to the auditors, those invoices.
Honorable Chair, my
Honorable
name
Chair,
is
we have done
Frederick
that
Bedu,
verification
Director
with
of Human
auditors.
Resources.
Auditors, can you confirm the part recovery of these
Honorable
invoices?
Chair, my name is Charles Aiden, the Deputy Director of Finance.
Honorable Chair, per our last
Honorable Chair, my name is
verification,
Doris Ehonam Aka,
we were able
accountant.
to verify VAT receipts covering an amount of
Honorable Chair, my name is
76,000.
James Afezi, Regional Accountant, Central Region.
0.88, leaving a balance
Okay,
of
we'll start from your head office.
14,939.
Infraction is on paragraph 1868. And Honorable Konedo will take care of
But
that
Director
one.
of Finance, there seems to be some disparity in differentiation between the amount of 11,000 and the
Honorable
14.
Chair,
Chairman, this
I think
infraction has
there's
to
a
do with
discrepancy
some
between our
payments that
figures.
were made
So we need to do a
by the
reconciliation
judicial service.
with the auditors to
And these payments
agree
were
with the
made
figures
on
that we
invoices
currently
that
have
were not
of
VAT
11,783 points.
which the law stipulates that we ought to have VAT receipts for invoices that we make. So the auditors going through your IGF account
Hello,
found
madam.
that you made payments
You
to the tune
guys
of
are the law.
91,920
Isn't that so?
Ghana cedis, all of which they were not covered by VAT invoices.
Hello.
And their recommendation
Yes,
was that
we interpret
VAT
the
invoices
You
made-
interpret
made
the
by
law.
be recovered on these amounts,
And
failing
what
which
does the
the
law
Director of
say
Finance
about
must
VAT
pay, or
payments?
the Judicial Secretary must recover these amounts and pay. We want to know, Judicial Secretary, I'm sure you
Indeed.
tell us you have VAT invoices to cover,
You are
or
right.
you paid.
Thank you for your question. Transaction taking
Madam Chair,
effect. I'm happy to inform the must be issued committee to evidence complied with the now infraction. What it is that we have remedied the situation we have in our system. You, the as normally evidencing the allows receipts. Some of these transaction owners
Has these receipts been
to
shown
delay
to
the
the
issuance
auditors?
of the VAT receipt. And in our case, much as we try to
Honorable Chair, the receipts have been
Do a
shown to the
follow-up.
auditors.
Sir.
And we have an amount of 11,000.
I wish you wouldn't make a statement like that because you are being watched by
for
the whole
which the
country.
suppliers are yet to bring in their
You
VAT
interpret
invoices.
the law. And the law says you need
So
to
for
get
those that were
the
recovered,
VAT,
when
I
were these
mean,
invoices
payments,
recovered from the suppliers?
VAT
the
payments
over
need to come with receipts.
80,000 that has been recovered. When was these
I mean, it's
invoices
just like
recovered?
if we heard of
We
a
recovered them
policeman
from the
stealing,
period the audit
you say,
observation was
"Yay."
done up till now.
Now here
But
we
some
have
of
the people
suppliers,
interpreting
we call
the
them,
law,
they don't pay, but we are
and they
following
are not
up
following
at their
it.
premises to get the VAT invoices and attack them for the auditors to look at.
Should I get GRA to come after you to get it?
we wish
So you
to
said you
take a
showed the
cue from the
80,000
committee.
recovered to the auditors, those
And
invoices.
we shall
Honorable
do
Chair, we have done that
our
verification with the
homework well
auditors.
at the next.
Auditors, can you confirm the part
So
recovery
how
of
many
these
more
invoices?
weeks do you want to have to retrieve these
Honorable Chair,
invoices?
per our last verification,
we
were able to
ask for
verify
14 days.
14
VAT
days.
receipts covering an amount of
14 days is
76,350.
And that's 2 weeks. Auditors, please take note.
Leaving a balance of
Because within 14 days, if they haven't gotten it, they are appearing
939.12.
before the committee. Because somebody who interprets the law
But
should know what the law
There
is.
seems to be some disparity, differentiation between the amount of 11,000 and the
Honorable
14.
The next infraction is on
there's a
paragraph
discrepancy between our figures.
1873.
So we need to do a
And Honorable
reconciliation
Opeke will take
with
care
the
of that one.
auditors to agree with the figures that we currently
Yes,
have of 11,700.
I think it still has to do with
9 Ghana cedis.
some 3,939 withholding tax
Hello,
that
madam.
you have unremitted.
You
And,
guys are the law. Isn't that so?
Just like the chair for the day said, the law resides in your bosom, and
Hello.
Yes,
we expect that
we interpret
the law is,
You
is
interpret
followed.
the law.
by Parliament. Yes.
But
And
you
what
failed
does
to
the law
submit
say
the
about
tax
VAT payments?
within the 15 days, as stipulated by Section 117 of Act 896. Are you able to
Indeed.
explain to this committee what
You
you
are
have done
right.
with respect to this infraction?
Upon the transaction taking effect, Madam Chairperson, the VAT must be issued with respect to the withholding evidence payment. We are now happy to inform you
what
that
it
we have
is
since
that
complied with that. The situation
And
we have in our system, the tax has duly been paid. Normally, the Ghana Revenue allows some of we have the evidence to show to the committee. Transaction owners.
Have you showed the evidence to the auditors?
That in our case,
Auditors, are you able to confirm?
much as we try to
Honorable Chair, we can confirm that the taxes have been
do a
remitted.
follow-up.
All right,
Sir.
but just to find out from you, what
I wish you wouldn't make a
systemic
statement
controls
like
have
that
been
because
placed so
you
that
are being
these
watched
things do
by the
not
whole
occur?
country.
Because 3,900
You interpret
you are
the
dragged
law,
before the public
and the
accounts
law
committee,
says you need to get
should not happen
bad,
again.
I mean,
The law says that
payments-
within 15 days, remit
But
all
bad payments
taxes
need to come
the
with
state.
receipts.
What internal controls have
I
been
mean,
done
it's
at
just
your
like
end
if
to
we
ensure
headed
that
for
this thing do not
policeman
repeat
stealing,
again?
you say, yay. Now here we have the
My
people interpreting the
finance
law,
director will speak to
and they
the
are not
commission,
following
please.
it.
Honorable Chair, we've put in
Should I get
place
GRA
a
to come
second
after you
line
to
of
get
check.
it?
We wish to take a cue
And
from
normally
the
our
committee.
PVs are vetted by internal
And,
auditors.
we shall do
As we put in place
our
another
homework
control
well
of check that
at
when
the
the
next
payment
sitting
vouchers
of the
come back
So
from
how
the
many
audit
more
unit,
weeks do you
we go
want
through all of
to
them
have
to see
to
if there are any
retrieve these
documents
invoices?
missing. And then at the point of payment, before we make
We
payments on
will
the gift miss
ask for
platform,
14 days.
we also go through
14
the
days.
payment voucher
That is
to ensure that
14
all
days
documents are in
granted.
place before we release the money
And that's 2
electronically to the
weeks.
supplier. Thank you.
Auditors, please take note. Is the audit because internal audit 14 days? If they haven't gotten it, they are appearing before
Honorable
the
Chair
committee.
is not here.
Because somebody who interprets the law should know what the law is. I would wonder why he's still at work and these things are happening. The next infraction is on paragraph 1877. And Honorable PK and Honorable Annex Enim will take care of that one.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. So this infraction
I
has
think
to do
it
with
still has to do with
untransferred revenue to the holding account.
some
to the tune of
3,939
15,550.
withholding tax
So the auditors
that you have unremitted.
revealed
And,
that a total amount of 15,550
just like chair
collected
for the
was
day
not
said,
transferred to the
the law
treasury
resides in
single
your bosom,
account.
and
The auditors recommend that
we
the
expect that
Director of Finance
the
immediately
law
transfers
is-
the
is
amount of
followed.
15,550
failed
with
to
interest
submit
at the prevailing
the
Bank
tax
of Ghana rate into the
within the
holding
15
account.
days
Has this
as
transfer been
stipulated
done?
by Section 117 of Act 896. Are you able to
Honorable Chair,
explain to this
respectfully,
committee
this amount
what you
has
have
been
done
transferred into the
with respect to
holding
this
account.
infraction?
Auditors, can you confirm if
Thank
this
you,
amount has been transferred?
Madam Chairperson,
Honorable Chair, the amount has been transferred.
with respect to the withholding
Madam,
tax,
can you tell the committee
we
at what point
happy
this
to
money was
inform you
transferred
that
into
we
the
have since
treasury
complied
account?
with that.
And what
And
accounted
that's-
for that delay?
The tax has duly been paid to the Ghana Revenue Authority.
Yeah, Honorable Chair,
And we have the evidence to
the
show to the committee.
collection banks, that is the Eco Bank, they are
Have you showed the
responsible for
evidence to the auditors?
collection of the fees and fines.
That is so.
So at the
Auditors, are
point
you able to
that
confirm?
the audit infraction
Honorable Chair, we can confirm that the taxes have
were
been remitted.
noticed,
All right,
we
but just
followed
to find
up
out from
the-
you, what
our NTR unit
systemic controls
where
have you
they do
placed
the
so that
reverse
these things do
reconciliation.
not occur? Because
And then later,
3,900
the letter was
and you are
sent
dragged
to them
before
to
the
do
Public
the
Accounts
transfer.
Committee
So it's been done.
should not happen again. The
What
law says that
arrangement
within
was in
15
place
days,
with the,
remit all
with the bank?
taxes to the
And
state.
within the
What
agreement,
internal
how
controls
many
have you
days
done
are
at
they
your end
supposed
to
to
ensure
transfer
that
the
this
money?
thing do not repeat again?
So if by the law,
My
within
finance
72
director will speak
hours,
to that question, please.
they need to do the transfer. So we've
Honorable
drawn the
Chair,
attention to that.
We've put in place a second line of check.
Was the amount transferred with the interest
And normally
the
our
auditors
PVs are
recommended?
vetted by internal auditors. But we put in place another
Honorable Chair,
control of check
the
that when the,
interest is yet to be
payment
transferred.
vouchers come back from the audit unit, we go through all of them
When
to
was the
see
transfer
if
actually
there are
done?
any
And why
documents
that delay
missing.
with the interest?
And then at the point
Because
of
that's the
payment,
recommendation
before
from
we
the
make payments
auditors,
on
not
the
to
gift
just transfer
platform,
the 15,
we also go
but
through
then
the
plus the
payment
interest.
voucher to ensure that all documents are in place before we release the money electronically to the supplier. Thank you.
Honorable Chair,
Is the internal auditor
transfers-
here?
The collection was in Bates.
Honorable Chair, he's not
So the transfers
He's
were
not
done
here.
between
'Cause
January
I would
2023
wonder why
to
he's
February
still at
2023.
work and these things are happening.
Others.
Have
Anyway, the
you
next
taken
infraction is on
notice of the
paragraph
auditor's infraction? It
1877.
says June 20.
Honorable Annex Enim will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chair. So this infraction has to do with the untransferred revenue to the holding account to the tune of 15,550. So the auditors revealed that a total amount of 15,550 collected was not transferred to the Treasury single account. The auditors recommend that the Director of Finance immediately transfers the amount of 15,550 with interest at the prevailing Bank of Ghana rate into the holding account. Has this transfer been done?
Honorable Chair, respectfully, this amount has been transferred into the holding account.
Auditors, can you confirm if this amount has been transferred?
Honorable Chair, the amount has been transferred.
Madam, can you tell the committee at what point this money was transferred into the Treasury account? And what accounted for that delay?
Yeah, Honorable Chair, the collection banks, that is the Eco Bank, they are responsible for collection of the fees and fines. So at the point that the audit infraction were noticed, we followed up with our NTR unit, where they do the rigorous reconciliation, and then later, the letter was sent to them to do the transfer. So it's been done.
What arrangement was in place with the bank? And within the agreement, how many days are they supposed to transfer the money?
So if by the law, within 72 hours, they need to do the transfer. So we've drawn the attention to that going forward.
Was the amount transferred with the interest the auditors recommended?
Honorable Chair, the interest is yet to be transferred.
When was the transfer actually done, and why that delay with the interest? Because that's the recommendation from the auditors, not to just transfer the 15, but then plus the interest.
Honorable Chair, the transfers, the collection was in Bates. So the transfers were done between January 2023 to February 2023.
Sir, have you taken notice of the auditor's infraction? It says June 2022 to December 2023. So then you can't tell us that the transfer was done in January 2023 when the auditor said the duration they are speaking to is from June 2022 to December 2023. So just take your time, go through and come back. But we are speaking to the facts here. And so go through what the auditors have said. It is for 18 months, roughly, June 2022 to December 2023. You cannot tell us that the bank did not pay with interest. This is a bank that monthly does reconciliation, charges customers for monthly payments and everything. So that if you keep monies belonging to government or belonging to judicial service for 18 months, irrespective of the amount, you are supposed to pay interest. So look at the infraction again and respond appropriately, because it is from June 2022 to December 2023.
Madam Chair, well noted. Like I said earlier, the principal amount has been paid. We are going to follow up with the interest and then report to the committee.
Sir, that is not enough. It is not about well noted, the principal amount has been paid. The instructions were that do A, B, C, D. You do A and you decide not to do B, and you say, well noted, we are going to do it. Respectfully, get it done within the same 14 days that Madam has prescribed that you're going to settle the other one on the VAT receipts. and let the bank pay you what is due for holding your monies for close to 18 months per the Auditor General's infraction cited in the report.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, we will comply within the 40 days.
You see, I have a big worry. Judicial Service, you are supposed to interpret the law. And you told us that they need to transfer the money within 72 hours. Isn't that what you said, sir?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
So you know what should be done. And when it wasn't done, what did you do about it?
Honorable Chair, the reconciliation was done
after 18 months.
No, when the auditors brought to our attention, because this is coming from a court. So when it was brought to our attention, we also embarked on a reconciliation to confirm that. And indeed, the amount as stated by the auditors, we agreed with them. Like I indicated earlier, the principal amount has been paid, and we will do follow up with the interest that as the law requires. Thank you.
So if the external auditors haven't prompted you, don't you have any internal systems in place? You said you have an internal auditor. Who could have prompted you on this infraction? You see, you are judicial services. You need to, we make laws. You interpret it for us. Hey, a big wiggle. The next infraction is on paragraph. The ruling is within 14 days. They should get the interest. It will be interesting. You take judicial services to court. Okay, the next infraction is on paragraph 1881. And it's about unremitted withheld tax of 14,274. How about that one?
Honorable Chair, this has been cleared, and we have also cleared it with the auditors.
And did you clear with the interest or any penalty? Was there any penalty with it?
Honorable Chair, respectfully, no.
I'm sorry?
Respectfully, there was no penalty or interest attached.
What does the law say? The law says something about it.
What does the law say about withholding of taxes?
Yeah, Honorable Chair, we admit, because per the audit recommendation, we were supposed to pay the penalty as well. So, Honorable Chair, we'll work on that as well. And then.
No, I said, what the question was, what does the law say about withholding of taxes?
That we are supposed to pay within the 15 days, Honorable.
15 days?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Auditors, have they paid this amount?
Yes, Honorable Chair. The amount has been remitted to the GRA.
Okay, the next infraction is on paragraph 1884, and Honorable Frank Abel will take care of that one.
This one relates to a similar issue, unremitted welfare taxes amounting to 6,246. Have you done the needful?
Honorable Chair, we have done the needful as recommended by the auditors.
Auditors, can you confirm, please?
Honorable Chair, we can confirm that the entire amount has been paid to the GRA.
The next infraction is on paragraph 1887, also unremitted revenue to the consolidated fund of 45,470. Has this amount been paid?
Yeah, Honorable Chair, it has been paid into the consolidated fund.
Auditors, could you confirm, please?
Honorable Chair, per our last verification, it was still outstanding. So if there has been any transfer and they have the documents, they can provide them.
The auditor is saying that it's still outstanding.
Honorable Chair, we have the exhibits from Ghana Commercial Bank as having been paid. Why?
When did you get that?
In the infractions, it was on the statements was from January to August 2025. So the reporting time, we got it on the 26th of August 2025, Honorable Chair.
Now, 26th of August, did you give it to the auditors?
Honorable Chair, I think it escaped justice.
I'm sorry?
By the district auditor.
District auditor.
So I think there was a miscommunication. So we'll forward it to the auditors for them to verify.
Okay, auditors, please follow up on that one for us.
Well noted, Honorable Chair.
The next infraction is on paragraph 1891, and Honorable Dr. Jasso will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, this infraction was observed in Central Region at the Kaswa District Court. It has to do with payroll audit and what the outcome was. Honorable Chair, one Cephas Stam Ghani vacated post on the 21st of July 2023. He was, however, validated and paid an amount of 8,064 Ghana cedis. This is an unearned salary for August 2023.
Where the infraction took place, to give us an answer.
Okay. Respectfully, Honorable Chair, the sum amount of 8,064 Ghana cedis, we've been able to retrieve 4,000 from the said former staff, and we are still working on getting the remainder. Thank you.
So if I understood you, out of the 8,064 Ghana cedis, you were able to retrieve how much and what is left?
So currently we have retrieved 4,000 and remaining 4,064 Ghana cedis.
When did you retrieve this amount? And where is the amount?
Okay, so the 4,000 Ghana cedis was retrieved on it was paid on 22nd October 2025. Yes, and the amount has been paid today, BOG.
So you paid it only last week?
Very well.
So what is the problem? Why have you not recovered the full amount with interest?
Chair, the former staff in question, in fact, we were struggling to get him, so we have to involve the police. Yes, and when he was apprehended by the police, his family members came on board to make that initial deposit. In fact, the 4,000 was made in trenches, 2,000, and then later they also brought the 2,000. They promised us that we are going to pay the rest before end of November. And
so family members came in, and then it quoted your leniency, right? That attracted leniency from you to allow this flexibility. Is that correct?
No. In fact, that 4,000 Ghana cedis that he paid, it was as a result of we being hard on it. Even we have to involve the police. That's how come we were able to, because we cannot trace the former staff in question. So the registrar have to go and then, in order to get the staff.
All right. Exactly, I'll come back to it. So we'll come back to the registrar and what he should do or he should have done to retrieve the full amount for the state. Who validated this worker? I want a name and a position. Who validated this worker?
Validation is done at the registry, and in this particular one, I think the registrar was the validator.
Madam Chair, respectfully, I will request the witness to answer the questions directly, as if he were in a court, because you have the powers of the High Court. Now, who registered, who validated the said worker? You know the person. Can you give that information to the committee, please?
Honorable Chair, the validator is Mr. Smiler Adams.
Please, can you add some further information? Who is Mr. Smiler Adams? Is he here?
He is the cashier of the court.
And he validates, or he validated the specific one?
He validated this specific one.
Are you able to tell the committee how a cashier of a district court will validate a worker? Is that your practice there?
Honorable Chair, the validation is done by the cashier of the court and the registrar. You know, the cashier will have to validate and the registrar will forward. The registrar will have to approve of it. That's also why he was trying to remember the name of the registrar. I think he's Agro, but he forgot the first name. So it's the registrar and the cashier who do the validation for each of the courts.
So it means that the cashier is the one who occasioned this infraction, because the worker was not there, and yet he went ahead to validate. The registrar, without due diligence, also confirmed that validation, and therefore the worker was paid. Will you agree that both the cashier and the registrar was negligent in this duty?
Honorable Chair, the two of them caused the...
So, Honorable Chair, I will defer to you. The witness has established how it occurred and what we should do. We need the state to get back its money with interest. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The registrar, those two people who validated that person, will have to pay this amount, and you have 30 days to do that. Thank you very much.
Noted.
Let's move to the next infraction. It's on paragraph 1895, and Honorable Gape will take care of that one.
Thank you. Judicial Service. This one is related to High Court Kasua Fanko. It is basically about an end salary where a deputy chief registrar proceeded on annual leave, proceeded on 1 year leave without pay, but it was still validated and being paid. And then the recommendation was the registrar should recover the amount of 9,587 Ghana cedis with interest at the prevailing Bank of Ghana rate. I would like to find out from you whether you have done the needful.
Honorable Chair, payment has been made into the Auditor General's recovery account.
With interest,
Honorable Chair, without interest.
then you need to pay the interest because that was the recommendation from the Auditors General. Auditor General, can you confirm?
Yes, Honorable Chair. So the amount of 9,587 has been recovered as at 21st August 2025, but the balance, the interest is still outstanding.
Why is he abstaining?
Honorable Chair, they may have to explain to us, but yeah.
They should explain the reason why they are not paying the interest.
Honorable Chair, we'll follow up with the payments of the interest and get it done.
Okay, we are in your hand.
Thank you very much. Judicial Service, you pay the interest within 30 days. I'm surprised Judicial Service is not, they can interpret the law, but they don't want to follow it. The next one is on paragraph 1898, and Honorable Kinney will take care of that one, please. Okay, it's on Judicial Service Cape Coast and unsupported payments of 83,920. How about that one?
Honorable Chair, the payment vouchers have been retrieved.
Madam, please speak into the mic.
The payment vouchers have been retrieved, and the district auditor has done the verification, and we have the payment vouchers here for the Auditor General to validate.
Have they seen the documents yet?
The district auditor for Central Region, Cape Coast, has done the validity because that's where the report came from.
Yes.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
And Cape Coast, you are here, right? Then answer it, sir.
Honorable Chair, yes, we've been cleared from the Cape Coast District.
My question, have all these amounts been, have you recovered all these documents?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Can the Auditor General confirm, please?
Honorable Chair, the relevant documents were submitted and verified.
Thank you very much. The next infraction is on paragraph 1901. And it's on unpresented payment vouchers of 19,926. What has happened to these documents?
Honorable Chair, respectfully, this has also been cleared with the auditors.
They've been cleared with the auditors. And this is also from Cape Coast, right? We seem to have something going on in Cape Coast Judicial Service out there. Sir, please, don't smile on this one. It doesn't look good. Auditors, have they presented the documents?
Yes, Honorable Chair, the PVs were presented and verified.
The next infraction is on paragraph 1905, and Honorable Ahinkwa will take care of that one, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, this infraction is on unretired interest. Regulation 102 of the Public Financial Management Regulation says that a spending officer, after issuing an interest, has to recover or retire the money within 10 days. Here, in contravention to this regulation, it was observed that the Deputy Regional Administrative Officer of the court was granted an amount of 9,711 Ghana cedis to perform some various activities in the outstation courts. The auditors observed that those activities were performed, but the money, as the law stipulates, was not retired. And this is in contravention to the regulation. So auditors met the management, and management told the auditors that they have identified the documents that are supporting those payments. upon a second check, it proved that the documents were not there. They were lying to the audit service. We are guided by law in this country. We know the Criminal Offences Act and other related acts, the law that governs it. Act 1960. When you make a false declaration, the consequences. So why did you give a false information to the audit service?
Answer. It's happening in Cape Coast.
Honorable Chair, the amount has been fully retired, and it has been cleared from the district court, district auditor, Cape Coast. Thank you.
We'll come to that. The auditors are saying, upon a second check, the documents supporting the payment were not there. This is what the report says. So it means, in the first instance, you gave them a false information. And we know the consequences when you make a false declaration per the laws of the country. So why that falsehood? Before we come to the verification.
Honorable Chair, I think it was an omission. Yes.
Okay. Auditors, that they have now submitted the documents to validate whatever. Is it true?
Yes, Honorable Chair, per our last verification in August this year, they provided documents to retire the interest.
Thank you. But I have some reservation. When it comes to the judicial service, we know the role you play when it comes to legality. I don't think a reputable institution like the judicial service should be caught with some of these petty offenses. So what are we telling the others? If somebody appears before your court and is caught by this, how will you treat the person?
Sir, you said it was an omission. What did you omit?
Honorable Chair, it may be as a result of when they were presenting the document.
It may be. You see, you are not too sure of what you are saying, but you sworn an oath to speak the truth and nothing but the truth.
That is at the time.
You have sworn an oath to speak the truth and nothing but the truth. If you are not sure of what you are saying, you are better off keeping quiet and allowing your superiors to answer. But you cannot tell us that it was an omission. It may be an omission. Omission of what? Omission of the statement. Omission of what? Of the truth. You failed to tell them the truth. You omitted the truth. Is that what you are saying? Respectfully, let's try as much as possible to take the auditors serious. You tell the auditors, you submit documentation to them to prove what they are asking, only for them to come out later and realize that this is not it. And we tell you, say, oh, it may be an omission.
Have the auditors they have verified it. Now you see why I told you earlier that you shouldn't be smiling because it doesn't smell good at judicial services in Cape Coast. Let's go to the next one, please. It's on the next infraction is on paragraph 1910. And Honorable Depala will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chairman. This infraction has to do with 3 staff of the Judicial Service. It has to do with unearned salary of 41,125 Ghana cedis. 3 staff of the service of your organization vacated posts between August 2023 and February 2024, and yet were collecting salary. The 3 are, I want to mention their names, wherever they are. We have Apraku Michelle Owusua. She earned 34,325 Ghana cedis. Then Asante Kingsley Quantin, 5,500. Then Evans Edusai, some 1,298 Ghana cedis. The auditors said that the administrative officer and the accountant should recover the money. I want to find out whether the money has been recovered.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. For Abraku Michelle Owusua, the unearned salary upon reconciliation with the auditors was 10,938.74, and this has been paid into the Auditor General's recovery accounts. Asante Kingsley Granting, he did not receive any salary after vacation of post was issued, so his pay slip and bank statement was given to the auditors for verification. Evans Edusei has also paid the 1,320 Ghana cedis into the Auditor General's recovery account. Thank you.
Can the auditors confirm this?
Honorable Chair, we cannot confirm this because per the last status that I received from the Sunyani office, the information given wasn't given to me. It was still outstanding.
When was your last checkup on it?
That was in August.
Madam.
Honorable Chair, our regional administrative officer and the regional accountant sent this verification to us with the district audit.
What your response to this infraction? Do you have the proof? Do you have any proof to what you are saying?
Yes, we have evidence of that.
Okay. You can give it to the audit. So you can give copies to the auditors for them to confirm to us. Chairman, I'm done.
All right, thank you very much. Judicial Services, you are discharged. Let's call Ministry of Trade.
We are grateful.
Judicial Service, I think next time when the auditors come to your end, let people at the top spend good quality time with them. Because some of these infractions that you were cited for are infractions that should never come here. So moving forward, Judicial Secretary, I would ask that whenever the auditors come, please let's spend some good time with them and try as much as possible to clear some of these things before they even appear in your management letter. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for this advice. It's well noted.
Trade. Yeah.
Can they take the oath, please? Can they swear the ministry in with the agencies, please? Because we have our Ghana Trade Fair Company, Ghana Standards Authority, Ghana Enterprises Agency, and Ghana Supply Company Limited.
I swear by the Almighty God that the evidence I shall give before this committee touching the matter in issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Senior and Deputy Minister, you are welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Can you please introduce yourself to the committee?
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, my name is Honorable Samson Ahi. I'm P for Bodi and the Deputy Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. My colleagues will introduce themselves.
Honorable Chair, my name is Noah Tunfo, Chief Director, Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry.
Honorable Chair, my name is Franklin Kwesi Andrews, Director of Finance and Admin for Ghana Trade Fair Company Limited.
Honorable Chair, respectfully, my name is Augustine Amwanai, Esquire, Deputy Chief Executive Officer, Ghana Trade Fair Company.
Honorable Chair, my name is Professor George Eji, Acting Director General, Ghana Standards Authority.
Honorable Chair, my name is Samuel Sakite, Director of Finance, Ghana Standards Authority.
Honorable Chair, my name is Bafo Ekufu Ankama, Director of Finance, Ghana Enterprises Agency.
Honorable Chair, my name is Emma Damientry, Acting Director, Human Resource.
Honorable Chair, my name is Idris Dambanyebo Mahmoud, Deputy CEO, Ghana Enterprises Agency.
Honorable Chair, my name is Samuel Japanite, Deputy Director General in charge of General Services for Ghana Standards Authority.
Honorable Chair, I'm Dr. Awal Mohammed, Deputy Director General, Ghana Standards Authority.
Okay, Honorable Minister, the first one is for Ghana Enterprises, the Ghana Enterprise Agency. Are they here? Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you, madam. We are looking at the Ghana Enterprise Agency, their financial statement, performance. What? When it comes to your financial statement from 2022 to 2023, you increase your income by 75%. But at the same time, your expenditure also increased by 74.5%. Why?
Honorable Chair, yes, the reason being that most of the funds that are received at Ghana Enterprises Agency are from collaborating partners. And these funds, when they are received, are meant for some specific activities. For 2023, there were a lot of monies that came for grants, which were given out to the MSMEs as grants, and some money also came in for startup kits. So those startup kits were procured and given out to the MSMEs as startup kits. So that is the reason why the monies that came in, the money that went out was just about the money that came in.
Yeah, I see that on the grants, you had about 284 million in 2023, as opposed to 2022 when you had 153 million. So the difference was about 130 million on the grants that you got. But then when it comes to the expenditure, the expenses went up by 43 million as opposed to in 2023 as opposed to that of 2022. What about consumption of fixed assets?
Consumption of fixed assets is purposely the depreciation that are charged on PPs, property, plants, and equipment.
In 1 year, it went up to 2.3 million.
Mr. Chair, in 2023, there were a lot of procurement with respect to vehicles because of the projects that came on board. For instance, the Ghana Economic Transformation Project, the Ghana Jobs and Skills Project, and that of MasterCard Foundation. There were some vehicles that were procured and other plans that were procured. So that actually resulted in an increase in the consumption of fixed assets.
You see your current assets, it went from 9 million to 303 million. That's your non-current assets. But current assets went down. What caused that?
Honorable Chair, like I earlier indicated, the non-current asset is basically the PPEs, the plant, property, plant, and equipment. So that went up in the year 2023.
Now your position on current ratio, it declined to 1 to 1 to 1. Huge difference right there. What happened and what are you going to do to recover?
Honorable Chair, the issue in 2023 was basically the agency moving on to use full accrual, where the funds, part of the funds that were received from the collaborating partners which are not being utilized are deferred. When it's being deferred, it is pushed into the current liabilities. So this pushed the current liabilities up, and that actually affected the current ratio.
Can you come again, please?
I'm saying that under 2023, the EPSAS, the remaining funds under the collaborating partners, the monies that came in which were not utilized, that portion of that money was deferred. When we defer it, that goes under the current liability, and this swells up the
monies that you did not utilize now turns into a liability.
The monies that were received, you receive it from a partner. So if if that money is not utilized, you cannot realize it as earned. So that money becomes a liability to the agency. So 2023, the subsequent year, when that monies are being used, you release it as revenue when it comes in.
You put the money in the current liabilities column because you were not able to use it, and then in the ensuing year, you release it back. How do you treat it?
So that portion, now you credit the revenue, then you debit the liability. So the revenue now goes up, then the liability portion in the current liability will go down.
Auditors, can you confirm this treatment?
Honorable Chair, that is it. Because you are preparing the accounts under IFSA's accruals, the money does not belong to them, so it has to be treated in the account as a liability. So in the ensuing year, as they release it, the liability will be going down, and then the revenue will be going up, and then the expenses will take on. So that is how the treatment is done, which is acceptable.
So in 2024, I would see monies of close to 200 million, because when you do the difference, about 200 million Ghana cedis coming in as income per your treatment.
Rightly so, Honorable Chair.
Rightly so. Today is the 27th of October 2024. Rightly so. We'll take note of that, and when the accounts for 2024 comes, we will look at that. But Mr. Chair, I just want clarification on something that I am seeing here. I see under the expenditure different components of expenses. I see specialized expenses and I see other expenses. Current Chair asked you why the increase in expenditure, and you said you used it for usually when the funds come in, they are directed for specific purposes. Was that captured under goods and services? You give me the explanation of the various expenses, the specialized and then the other expenses. And I'm also asking whether that expenditure that saw you increasing the amount by close to 74.5% was captured under goods and services.
Honorable Chair, under expenses, yes, the goods and service amount of 199,244,964.396, under goods and service. Some of the expenditures were material and office consumables, utilities, general cleaning, rentals and leases, travel and transport, consultancy, training, and seminars.
So stop right there. But when he asked you, you said that the total income that increased by 75 and the expenditure that came with it was usually to pay or to address the expenses of a particular program. But here you are telling us that it's for office consumables, it's for this, it's for that, it's for utilities. So then it did not go to address that specific payments of grants to people and all the other things that you mentioned. Because the auditors were specific that you saw your income go up by 75% and your expenditure also go up by 74%. And gladly you told us that, oh yes, it was to, take care of a program that income had provided. But here we are, your goods and services is speaking to something directly different from that. And then you come to the specialized expenses and other expenses. Tell us what exactly they are.
And the specialized expense was, one was rent and the other one was impairment.
Didn't you pay any rent in 2022?
Madam,
Because the specialized expenses is 0 for 2022, but 2.3 million in 2023.
yes, in 2022, the rent component was paid directly under the Ghana Economic Transformation Project from Ministry of Finance. But in 2023, we have to pay from our end. The reason why in our financial we don't have the rent in it.
Under goods and services, you mentioned lease also over there.
Yes.
So if there's a lease and then there's a rent, which one are we talking about? What is the lease for?
Normally, the lease, I want to look at it, but normally the lease is for the equipment that, photocopiers that we lease for the activities of the agency.
You see, when it comes to 2022, you had a deficit of 6.4 million. And in 2023, a deficit of 9.5 million. So, which direction are we going?
Honorable Chair, I think this deficit basically as a result of the change, I mean the movement from the cash or partially cash basis to that of accrual. Because under the cash, when funds are received like from a partner, we recognize everything as revenue for the year. But with this new, the IPSAS, now we have to defer portion of the funds that are not being used. So it is pushed under the current liability, then subsequently when it's used, then we realize, we recognize it.
When did you start with the IPSAS?
Fully 2023.
Now, when I asked you earlier about grants, which resulted in 75% increase in your revenue, you say you use it for projects. But now that we are talking about the expenses, not all of it was used for projects. What portion of it did you use for projects?
Oh, Mr. Chair, I don't have that information here, but I don't have that information here, but the monies that are being used under the collaborating partner funds, these monies go under the expenses. So that's why initially I mentioned that it's for those projects.
So your current ratio right now is artificial?
No, it's correct.
Because you go from 609.4 to 1 to 1.6 to 1.
Yes, it is because of the change.
And then definition for the other expenses, please. You've given us that of the specialized expenses. And in your goods and services numbers, if clearly your projects are paid under goods and services, you should have an item or two showing that. And you have the list in front of you. You have the breakdown.
But I'm sorry, if you can ask the question.
I asked for the definition of what you term specialized expenses, other expenses, and then goods and services. And so you gave us what you termed other expenses as rent. Sorry, specialized expenses as rent. And I'm saying, give me a breakdown of the other expenses, what it entails.
Honorable Chair, I'm sure the auditors might have put some figures together, because if you look at my financial statement, under the expenses, I have compensation, I have goods and service, I have specialized expenses, I have grant, then consumption of fixed assets. So
There's no line item
Yes,
called other expenses.
Yeah, I don't have that one here.
And that is 77 million. So you have the specialized expenses as 2.3, your goods and services as 199.7 million Ghana cedis, and then the other expenses.
Yeah.
So anything found outside the specialized expenses and goods and services will be the other expenses. So then let us know what the others entail. Anything that falls outside specialized expenses, which you've explained to us, the goods and services, which you have also done, and so all the others, I'm sure will constitute other expenses. So if you can translate that for us.
Honorable Chair, from my financial, I have grants standing alone as item 38, which is the 77,817,646.84.
So this is going to buttress what you told us, that some monies came in and then you used it for a project. The grant is a project. So that is why we're asking you to let us know which projects did you spend this money on. So then the other expenses goes to the grants that were given out for the incomes, the specialized incomes that came in.
Yes, grants.
Okay.
But as part of the, as part of the goods and service, we have consultancy expenses, which is basically the consultants that were engaged under the project. The Ghana Economic Transformation Project, the DJ's Ghana Jobs and Skills Project. So the payment falls under their project, but it was captured under goods and service.
I get that. So then, now I know that the other expenses had to do with grants that were given. It's always important to, usually when you just see other expenses, 77 million, you should go further to find out exactly what it is, because I know there are goods and services.
We are coming to you live from the
expenses,
SAS
the regular
editorial, and it's
expenses,
that time
and then in
of the
here you have
competition
specialized
where
expenses,
we have
and then other
a lot
expenses.
of
That's
schools.
why
I mean, we
I
started
wanted
with
to probe
174.
further to find out
We are
exactly
down
what
to
the other
27
expenses
schools. The
entailed,
big
and
question
now
is,
it's been
which of
confirmed
these
that you
schools
use that to
books
pay
their slot
grants.
to the semi-final stage? Before I even continue, let me acknowledge our sponsors. The 2025 National Science and Maths Quiz is produced by Primetime Limited and sponsored by the Ghana Education Service in partnership with Gold PLC and supported by Momo, PEP Student Prudential Life Insurance Ghana, Chupay, Trusta AI, Advanced Travels, Rwanda Air, Kivo Gari, Spin City, Laundromat, Coronation Insurance, Secure Sanitary Pad, Accra College of Medicine, Academic City University, Bell Beverages, GTP and Flority Shoes. And the broadcast of the National Science and Maths Quiz on Joy News is supported by NASCO, Vitamil, Ayuda Harvard, Security Africa, Chopos Technologies, Admission Checker, German Ozone Medical Center, ACE Medical Insurance, Achimota Mall, Slam Technologies, Family Health Medical School, Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, DBS Industries Limited, Syntex Tanks, and Academic City University. Well, you know, when it gets to the quarterfinal stage, you have one special person that a lot of you are looking out for, and it's no other person than Professor L.C. Ifa.
And that seems to be declining.
Good morning. How
the gains you make from foreign exchange seems to be declining.
Well, I'm good.
Because it declined by 41% between 2022 and 2023.
This year's journey had an increment in the numbers. This year we had 174. Last year was 157.
That you
think the increment in, schools participating in the National Science and Maths Quiz has anything to do with the impact of the contest, especially when it comes to
okay, now let's move to
Ghana in general?
Management
issues.
It
has to
and
do with
paragraph
what the young people see as being the value of the program. What it is that makes the schools also think that they should fill students.
Basically failure
and so
to set bond
it has a very huge appeal now. It's already very national in character. And the students definitely benefit from it. If you talk to alumni of the program, they will tell you what they benefited from the program. And so everyone wants to be part of it.
Please know the status
and so
of this
if it becomes even possible, we should make it possible for more schools and more contestants to participate.
Now,
Especially this
an
year,
amount
we
of
have a school like business school. We know they are
32,769
known to be doing
Ghana
mostly
cedis
business, but they are
has
part
been
of
paid.
the National Science and Maths quiz.
Yes,
with,
the business schools have been doing this.
Outstanding of
I remember the first time that was it Nobisco,
Yeah,
Northern School of Business. I remember the year.
Auditors,
Yeah, for the
can you please
preliminary,
confirm
unfortunately,
such
that's
amount?
quite early.
Yes, but I remember their first competition. It was
Honorable
actually
Chair,
something
an
amazing.
amount of
Because what would happen was when I started
32,769
reading the science
has been recovered, leaving a balance of
questions, they would show no
9,484.
interest. I mean,
0.80,
they would not
as
even
he
attempt
indicated.
to do
Thank you.
anything. But then
So
when it was a
when is
math
the
problem,
rest
you see them very actively
When are you
doing
paying the rest?
calculations. That was the first time they showed up. And I understand at that time they were not even doing science.
Oh,
Is
okay.
Samira
But
in the
after
country?
that, they
Is she in
started
the
a science
country?
program at the school.
Wow.
And now you see them when they come here, they are answering the science
When are you
questions
paying the
together with
rest
the
of
math
the money?
questions.
Yeah,
This is
so
government of
Samira is
Ghana.
not in the country.
An inspiring one.
But we are still
especially,
following up to
let's
retrieve
move
it.
away from the number of schools. Let's talk
Method
about the
you
number
used
of
to
girls. I mean,
retrieve
we've been
the
having this
32,000
conversation.
plus.
I remember 2 years ago when we met, we
We
talked
wrote
about
follow-up letters
the
to
participation
her,
of the girls'
and then
schools.
we were
Last year we
constantly
spoke about
calling
it, and I
her on
quite remember you told
then
me
giving her
that
reminders
how many
officially.
of the
So
mentors
that's,
or the teachers are females
competent to
that
come and
these
pay.
students are looking
But we
up
are
to.
still using
Now
the
this
same
year,
method
the
to
number of
retrieve the
girls
9,000.
participation, especially in the quarterfinal, we have one girls' school, which is Every Girls.
Just
and
so
I know
we
you
are
told me that you
informed
don't follow
and,
the contest,
we
but
get to
let me just
understand
give you
how
a quick
to
recap.
handle these matters in
We
future.
had Wesley girls coming in as
the
regional
response you
champions,
gave
but
to the auditors,
unfortunately,
you
they
made
lost
claim
their
that you wrote to the
contest,
Ministry of
where
Foreign
I know that was a
Affairs,
school that a lot of people
the ministry
were
directed
tipping
that you
because they
engaged
were
the
coming and a lot of
NIB
people felt
authorities.
Wesley
Did
girls
you do
was
that?
really good in
And
the
is
regional
it that which
championship. Now
triggered
they come
Samira to
and
pay
they're kicked
back the
out.
money?
We don't have lots of girls' schools.
We want to
What do you think
understand
is
the method
happening?
that you used
I
in
have
doing
no
that
idea.
because
I
we
gave you a
get this
task. I told you to go
infractions a lot.
find out how many coaches in the schools, the girls' schools, are female.
Yeah.
Did you find out for me?
Honorable Chair, yes, that rightly so. We
I had to be doing
initially went when we
stuff.
realized that she
And
was
for
not in the
me,
country.
I hadn't
we
really
went
been
to
seeing
the
any of the
Ministry of Foreign Affairs
coordinators. I mean,
if we
really
can
seen
get
any female
assistance, but they
coordinator
referred
out
us
there.
to
So that situation has not changed.
NIB.
Why do
So
we
they-
think that
there
things
was
are
a,
going to change
we
when
had
we
a
are not
meeting
doing
with
anything
her
differently?
lawyers, and then they
So, Prof,
agreed
what
to
would you
pay
suggest
that
now?
amount. But they
It
were
needs a
wanted to pay for
project,
1
you
year.
know,
But the auditors
somebody,
request,
some
they
people
indicated
would
that
have
he's
to
supposed to pay
plan things out. It
42,000,
has to be a
which we are still
long-term
following
project.
up
It's not something
for
that you
her to
implement today and you see a result
Mr. Chair.
next year. It's going to have to be a long-term
keep on
project.
following up.
First,
and
let's
then
groom
let's
some
see
of
how
these
it
young
goes.
ladies
But I don't
to
know
want
why
to be
we are doing
coaches.
this to Madagana.
Let's
The government
try
spend
and get the
resources on
interest of
you
the
to
girls' schools
pay.
up.
I mean, you're on steady leave.
Let's see what
Save
else
one
we can
is
do.
become an issue,
You know,
and then they leave.
At this point, I
Why are you
don't know
doing
what
this to
tell you.
Madagana?
But we're doing the same things and
Does she
expecting
have
a
any
different result.
guarantors?
Well, I know they are listening, so hopefully,
Yes, Honorable
I mean,
Chair.
after
what
this
role are they
conversation, they'll
playing in
probably
the
input what
recovery
you are saying.
of this summer?
But you know, most of the
Honorable Chair,
girls'
we
schools
got
that you
in
speak to, we have a
contact
couple of
with
them
them.
saying that they're
So
looking
I
up to
think
you.
with our
I
standing,
mean,
we'll
do you
still get in
feel
touch
the
with them
responsibility? I
for
mean,
them to
beyond moderating
us
to
to
also, I mean, mentor some of these girls?
Okay.
I have been doing that. I am
Madam,
mentoring a
you
whole
seem to be
horde of people,
complicating the
both
matter.
male and female.
We are happy that
If you come to my School of Engineering Sciences,
are there timelines? We
we've been
need
increasing
full
in
payment.
numbers in terms
Are
of
there
female
time? Because once you are in
population
contact
of
with them,
students. And I try
you've spoken to
be
the
an
lawyers,
example, a good
there's some
example to them.
commitment
I
coming
mentor a
from.
large
Are
number
there
of them.
timelines? What is it that
So
we
it's
have
not
agreed
just about
with
mentoring
Samira
to
Hussein
compete
to be
here,
paying
but mentoring
this debt?
get
We
them
want to
to
understand
understand
that.
that they have a role to play.
Thank you, Honorable
in
Chair.
the
I
future,
think in
right?
respect
These
of
people are the
recovering the
innovators of the future. They are the
remaining
problem
a
solvers of the
little of
future. We need both
9,000.
male and female
The lawyers
to
we
do
have
that.
spoken to
And
on
so
behalf of
the mentorship,
Ms.
my
Samira,
mentorship goes
they are
beyond
giving the indication
the
that from their
National Science
side,
and Math quiz.
they think they've
It's for
paid
life.
up to a
for
certain
life,
point. So
yeah.
we should
Well,
give them
Prof,
some time
now,
to
let's
reconcile
talk about returnees
with their
and
payment
experiences.
receipt and get back
This year,
to
for
rest.
instance, we have
And as recent
Stephen from Okukumari. I'm pretty sure you met him in his first year. That was in 2023. He came back in 2024. Now back in 2025. Do you think, I mean,
Ms. Samira, if you are hearing us, even legal fees alone is more than the 9,000.
Moving further,
your name should not be appearing in audit reports. So please, kindly do the needful.
There has to be a reason why the school thinks that it should be
so that
the one coming every
we are all
year.
free. Thank you.
I think this question is best addressed to
you
the
said
school,
you
don't
got
you think?
in touch with the lawyers when?
and he himself to see why he wants to continue participating every year.
That was Thursday, the last time.
He said that a lot of people look up to him, and for him to, most people tell him that, I mean, he should keep
we
on
need
going.
for you to follow up
and
keep the auditors updated on this.
But do you think
because at some point we'll have to draw the curtain and collect the money from one of you.
It's just like I said, I have not been keeping track of such things. I remember a couple of
Ghana
students
Enterprises,
that came back. I don't know
agency,
how well it
you
went
are
for
done.
them.
The next one is Ghana Trade Fair Company.
I haven't really monitored that.
I know.
Okay.
When you're done with the competition, you just put everything behind you. But take up our audiences, especially for last
we have
year.
an
What
issue
has been
from
one of
5 years
your
back.
fun moments, your peak moments for last
5
year's
years back.
national championship?
We'll talk about that
contest?
later.
Last year was relatively quiet.
Really?
Usually.
Yeah, thank you.
After the competition, I get all kinds of people accusing me of all sorts of things. Last year was really
let's
quiet.
go to your income and expenditure.
Up until recently,
And then I see a huge increment of 40 million from a million.
Yeah. But last year was amazing.
In 2022, your revenue was 1.1 million, and in 2023, 41 million. Can you tell us
that was the good
what
one?
necessitated that
But I've
huge
been very
revenue?
busy,
We all
you
want
know.
revenue, but yes,
I
we
am
want
the dean of the School of
to
Engineering
find out
Sciences.
exactly
that
how you
comes with
came
a lot
by
of responsibilities.
the
So I've been very,
40
very busy. So when I
million
finish, I just
increment.
put the competition aside and then I do other things. Although
This
last
was
year also is, I was
an
elected,
amount
I was
one of the
inducted into
developers.
the
As we are
Trivia Hall
our
of
trade
Fame.
fair is undergoing development,
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
have
Yeah.
developers
So
on
that
site who
last year
are
was a good one, right?
Yeah, it was.
together
Actually, it was the
supporting us in
2025
carrying out the
Trivia Hall of
development.
Fame.
So one of them
technically it's this
was
year.
the contract agreement we had with
Now we're in the quarters.
the contractor. He was
that's the big
supposed to
boys, the big
remit
girls
some
for you. Whoever
Yes.
comes in the
money
competition
to us,
doesn't get
which
to meet
have been-
12. I mean, they've left us a small girl,
which we have agreed with them to
But
pay
what are
in
your
tranches.
expectations,
So the
especially
first
for the
tranche
quarters? Now
was
we have, as I was
supposed
saying,
to have come in
we have schools that,
2023,
especially with the Wesley Girls
second
contest,
quarter.
they
So
were able to
that
take
was what
Betifi Presby
caused
took out Wesley
the
Girls, which
sharp
it
increment
was all
in the
over social
revenue.
media. A lot of
And
people were not
what
expecting
was
that, which
this,
I don't even know why people were expecting that,
bits
because
of
when you come
revenue
on stage,
paid
at the end of the day, your
for?
answers do the talking.
It was
But
meant
what are your
for
expectations
us to-
from some of these
for
schools
them to-
that you are meeting in the quarterfinal stage?
It's actually
The
a
same
tech
expectations.
company.
I'm looking out
They
for
are supposed to
excellence,
put
right?
in
Every year
IT
we
infrastructure
tighten the screws
into the
a
project,
little
and
bit,
as part
and
of
they
the
live up
agreement
to
with them, they are supposed to
expectation.
pay us
So it's the same thing. I'm expecting them to do
amount.
their best.
So the
I'm
first
expecting
tranche
them
of
to be
it
able
is
to answer
what
most of the
we
questions.
received, and
If they don't, I'll
it's
be quite upset.
ballooned the revenue
I
What about the
expect
high
more.
scores that you're expecting, especially in the quarterfinal stage?
So
quarterfinals.
has this been done?
You know,
Have
we
you
have
put
Madizero coming in as a high score,
infrastructure,
having 82 and the one
the
8.
IT infrastructure in place to the tune
I
of
would like to see
the
more of
amount
that.
paid you?
82.
Why not?
No, Honorable Chair, we are not supposed to do that.
Why not?
We are
Why not?
supposed to. They are supposed to pay us the money. Then they put
What are
the
your
IT
final words
infrastructure
to
into
the
the
schools that you
developer.
are
So when
meeting
the lot is
in
handed
this
over
stage,
to
your final words
the
to all the
developer,
schools coming
it's
in to
part
meet
of the commitment and
Okay,
the leasehold
come here
sum
with the
that is supposed to
expectation
come to
that
us.
the questions
So-
are not beyond
So
you.
who are supposed to? Who are
That
those
you are
supposed to
capable of
put
answering
in
these questions.
the infrastructure?
But you must do that
The
very fast.
infrastructure is supposed to be. Is the developer is the one who is supposed to do
Honestly.
the IADC Africa Data Center.
So that,
Okay,
that's
so,
what it is.
they have paid
nothing
40
very
million.
unusual. I mean,
So the 40 million was
okay.
for what?
I think we have fewer questions.
That was the
this-
first
this
installment.
Yeah, I was even about to
of
ask that. Why
contract
that,
sum.
though?
Well, I hear our stakeholders think
First
that the
installment
contest
of
is
their
too long.
contracts and what
Yeah.
contract?
Oh, okay. That's the reason why we have
So,
Honorable,
yeah,
the
so round one
contract
is
we had
one
with
set
them, we are
fewer.
supposed to
Oh, okay.
allocate to them
So we'll be finished
I think
fast.
5.5 acres of land on lease.
All right, sure.
Yes.
Yes,
So
but I
this
want
money
everyone
is
to come
the first
here
tranche of the
with
leasehold payment.
Aha.
expectation
Because you
that
said something
we
different.
expect
You
fair
said it was
competition,
for infrastructure. And I'm asking
that we
you,
will
after
be
taking the
following
40 million, have you done the
competition rules
infrastructure? But you
to
are
the
now saying
letter.
that It is for the first tranche was for the leasehold payment to give them access to the place to put in the infrastructure.
That they are going to show good sportsman and good sportsmanship and good sportswomanship.
And then
and that at the end of the day we are all good friends.
Since you got the money, you had other incomes coming in. So for 2023, your total income was 45.9 million.
Yes, I know the people that come around and then I saw interested in the answers.
Direct expenses, operating expenses.
Are you sure?
Go up by 100%.
Some people don't seem to want to learn. They are here to just make noise. I want everyone to learn something.
Yes.
Every contest.
Actually more than that, but I'm being
remember from the contest. That would make us all better. So please, that includes you.
Development.
When I see you next time, I will ask you what you have learned this year. So everybody should learn some science, some math, something interesting.
So what exactly were you doing? That caused your operating expenses to move by 100%.
Thank you very much, bro.
My pleasure.
As Prof is saying, we should try and learn something after every contest. Well,
direct operating
I've been
expenses.
your host this morning. Let me quickly acknowledge our sponsors once again. The 2025 National Science and Maths Quiz is produced by Primetime Limited and sponsored by the Ghana Education Service in partnership with Gulf PLC and supported by Momo, Pepsodent Prudential Life Insurance Ghana, Jupe, Trustar AI, Adansi Travels, Rwand Air, Kivo, Gary, Spin City, Laundromat, Coronation Insurance, Secure Sanitary Pad, Accra College of Medicine, Academic City University, Bell Beverages, GTP, and Flora Tissues. And the broadcast of the National Science and Maths Quiz on Joy News is supported by NASCO, Vitamilk, Ayuda Hub, Virtual Security Africa, Chopos Technologies, Admission Checker, German Ozone Medical Center, ACE Medical Insurance, Achimota Mall, Slums Technologies, Family Health Medical School, Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, DBS Industries Limited, Syntax Times, Academic City,
Transport and Travel.
University. Well, thank you very much for sticking and staying with us. I've been
Then we
your
have
host,
security
Jacqueline
expenses,
Asmai, and I had the opportunity to engage Professor
We have communication
Elsie
expenses,
Kaufman. Thank you, and over to you back in the studio.
35,640. Then we have entertainment and protocol expenses. That is 87,000.
Well, Prime Minister,
But the entertainment
Singapore
is entertainment, music,
perhaps
and
the
protocol
most
expenses.
country in the world.
Then we have
And
fuel
you
and
like
lubricant,
rules, you like precision, you like
28,746. Cleaning and
We like
sanitation,
stability.
You like
40,200.
predictability.
Yes, of course.
You like
Who doesn't?
stability.
Then press
You must be
allowance,
having to
43,000.
adapt to
Then we
the
have
new
public
world
relations
Tell me a
expenses,
little bit whether this requires
20,800
fundamental
Ghana
change
cedis.
in the way
We also
that
have
Singapore operates.
staff fare
We are certainly in the midst of a great
allowances or
transition
honorarium.
to a
That is
multipolar
34,000.
So, sir, clearly
Post-American
it tells you
order
that
and multipolar
you've seen
world.
money, you are spending money.
No one can tell how the
Yes,
transition
because
will
the
unfold,
items you
but
mentioned,
there is no doubt it will be
you have
messy and
advertising and
because America is stepping back
and
from
then you
its
have
role as a global insurer.
press allowance.
But there is no other country
You have
that's
communication
able to
allowance.
or willing
You have
to
so
fill the vacuum.
you have
So we are
seen
in
some
an
money,
uncomfortable
and so
position
your
where the
expenses should
old
go up
rules
because
do
this
not
is different
apply
from your
anymore, but the new
administrative
ones have not
expenses.
been written.
This is also
And
different
we
from
must
your staff
brace ourselves
expenses,
for more turbulence
and
ahead.
we
So what
saw
are we
your
to do
staff
in this
expenses also moving
I think we cannot
by
afford
the
to
auditors have put
just
here
wait for
quite a
things to
huge
happen
amount of money,
or hope
from
somehow that
582,000 to
things magically will fall
1.1
in
million
place.
Ghana cedis.
We have to take actions
So
now.
is it
Plan
not
now and start
a case
taking
of
actions
I've seen money, so let me
invest
also spend
together
some?
in tackling the problems of the
Sorry,
global commons,
Honorable Chair, that
or
is
in
not
building
so.
new trade connections.
It's
and
about the
keeping
number
up
of
the
events
momentum
we
of
organize
trade
and
liberalization.
the
So that's something
antecedent
that Singapore is
expenses
keen
that
to
it
do.
comes
We can't
with.
do it
So
alone.
for every
But we will
event
do it
that
with
your
other
staff
like-minded
organizes, you
countries.
give them money.
Can you envision
You pay them
a
for
world
that?
without the U.S.?
Because
The
I
US may
see
not be
your staff
able or
expenses
willing to
went
join
up from
these plans now,
582,000 Ghana
but we
cedis
have
to 1.1
to
million
press
Ghana
ahead.
cedis.
And
Unless you want to
hopefully in
tell me
time
as
to
soon as you
come,
saw the money,
they will come
you
along
hired
as
more
well.
staff.
But given the
Yes,
uncertainties and the
we got
unpredictability,
additional
we
staff.
cannot just
Okay,
leave
so in
things to
2022,
chance.
what
We have to
was your
start
staff
taking
strength?
actions
And then in
now
2023,
to lay the foundations of the new
Honorable, in
multilateral
2022, we were
But
just
there are
six.
two views that the next few years are
2023.
2023, our number went up
or
to
that there are
13.
deep structural
13.
changes.
Yes.
6
in the
to
world
13
order
warrants
that
and more than
that we are now
100%
living.
increment in salaries.
You are in the
That's
second
okay.
camp.
End it there.
We are, because we
So
believe
we
what
move
has happened
to
in America is not just a temporary
your total
phenomenon.
expenditure.
It reflects broader change in political
When you
culture,
made
and also
an income of 1.1 million, your total expenditure was 2.6 million.
From the current global order.
And when you made an income of 45, it also increased to 3.6 million. So it tells you, you see money, you spend money.
I think that goes beyond this.
Because you haven't been able to tell me exactly what, when I asked you to mention the direct operating expenses, the items you mentioned are not anything extraordinary that should warrant an increment. But that is how you feel you should run the public boards. And so
there may well have been free riders, so to speak.
I also see
do need to do more
under
to invest in their own economic security,
income and expenditure, taxation
stability.
amount of
we do that in
10 million,
10.2
million Ghana cedis.
We've consistently invested
Can you
year by year
explain to
in
us
our own security and our defense, and also facilitated America's
it was
certainly
tax
what
provision for the year
Trump administration has done is to motivate and catalyze many countries
after
to do this
preparing the financial
self-reflection,
statement.
and
That
you
was
see that
the
happening now. More
first
countries are
liability
investing in
There's
this.
certainly self-reflection.
So
you
it
see
is
it.
happening.
You see it in Europe.
And
and
isn't
people
that
are taking
but
matters
too
into
huge
their
an
hands.
amount?
But
You
so while there may
realize
be
an
truth
income of
in some of this
40%,
of what
and
Trump
then you
has
pay
said,
25%
and the
on
positive result
Is that-
of this
is that,
countries taking more responsibility
is?
and spending more on their own security.
Yes, Honorable.
We worry that the consequence of these actions
Is this
will
actual
also mean,
or
as
is
I
just
said,
provision for tax?
It was
weakening
provision.
of the global
So what
order
was the
today.
actual?
And we think there's no going back.
The actual was
There will be a
just
new
a little
multipolar
after
world.
9.
Multipolarity itself
9 million.
does not provide a stable framework for countries to work together, to cooperate, and to ensure shared prosperity and security. So we have to think about what we can do together to engender that.
Does this multipolarity mean spheres of influence? Because
So,
you
I
often
mean,
look
yes,
at
on the
way
whole,
the U.S. administration operates.
The money
and
brought in some
it
improvement in your
looks
current
like what the
ratio, but that is
president prefers are sort of
that
three
is
strong countries
to
That
be
wouldn't
expected.
work
But at
very
the
well
rate
for
at which you are
Singapore, would it?
We
going,
hope it will
if you
not
see
end
more
up like
money
that, because if
and you
the
increase
world
your
ends up in
expenses,
exclusionary
it will
blocks
not
and
serve
spheres of influence, I think it will be more dangerous.
this
and
public
unsafe.
board any
So
good.
from our point of view,
We want to see
multipolarity
tangible
should
expenses
still
that
have
can
a
also
way to
raise
bring
money.
about global connection.
We are not saying don't
We would
spend.
prefer a
But what we are
world
saying
where
is that
ASEAN
whatever
and
you
Southeast
spend on
Asia
should be able to raise more money for
platform that
your
allows for
company.
open and inclusive
That's, I
engagement
think
with
that's
all the
it.
major powers.
Do you think ASEAN could become the more
what's
credible bloc? Politically,
the
but also
current status
economically?
of the construction that is ongoing?
I know that
at your
this
end?
is what Singapore
in terms of
hopes for,
percentage.
but are there concrete moves to make it such?
I wouldn't, first of all,
Honorable Chair, respectfully,
belittle the achievement
we have
of
the
ASEAN.
horizontal works.
Southeast Asia
And
is a
when I
very
talk about
diverse
horizontal works, I
region,
mean the drainage
highly
systems
complex,
and
made
the
up of so many
streets.
different
It is about
ethnicities, languages,
85%
religions.
complete.
It used
And
to
then
be
we have
called
our
the
flagship
Balkans of
program, which is
Asia
the multi-purpose
geographical
exhibition center,
fragmentation and
which is also
potential
about
for instability.
45 to
And yet,
50%
all
through.
these decades,
It is expected that by
since the end of the
the
Vietnam
next 8
War,
months it will be completed. Thank you very
Asia
much.
has been able to
And
maintain relative
it's
peace and
purely
avoided
donor
major
fund,
conflicts,
it's a
and lot
grant
of it is
loan
credit
facility.
to
Or it's
ASEAN.
GOG.
ASEAN is certainly not perfect, but it is indispensable.
Honorable Chair, no,
And
it's not.
we are continuing to
It's
build
the
on the
PPP
foundations that
arrangement.
have been laid.
So we have a
There are
developer
plans to
who is
accelerate
constructing
ASEAN
that
integration to make
for the
ourselves a more
company,
attractive
and
competitive
in
single
turn
market. And
who
in some
swap
ways,
land on
the
lease
tariffs
for
imposed
him
by
to also
America
develop to
have
recoup
indeed
That's how
catalyzed
come
and
you get money
motivated
in your
ASEAN
account
leaders
and
to come
you
together with
spend.
more
And,
urgency. on
what
this
type of
endeavor.
entertainment?
So you got off pretty
You mentioned
lightly,
entertainment.
But of course there
Is it
not
Adowa or
a trade
Kete?
deficit in goods
Or,
or
I mean, we want to
services
understand
with
what
Singapore,
entertainment.
So you got 10%.
Thank you, Honorable.
It's not the same for your neighbors. They have some
when we
of
organize
the
events,
highest,
we are supposed
tariffs.
to have
So there is a growing sense in
music
the region
provided.
that
We bring
the
in
U.S. under
artists,
Trump
we
has
engage
turned its
DJs
back on Southeast
too.
Asia. Do you agree?
Then we also have the
Actions
cultural
of
bit
the
also
tariffs
there.
have certainly
to
impacted
make the
America's
place
standing
exciting, to
in
attract
Southeast
the
Asia.
general
There is no
public to
doubt.
visit the
But I would
fair
say all
ground
Southeast Asian
for the
countries
exhibitors
still
to also
recognize that America
make some sales.
remains the largest investor.
But the trade
in
fair
the
that is under
region.
construction,
Not China. China
still
is the
hold,
largest trading
Adowa
partner.
there,
But as far as
exhibitions.
FDI flows are
Honorable, what
concerned,
we do
America
is we
remains the
look out,
largest investor.
we go
America
out
still
to
has
organize events from
significant
a
stakes
high
in Asia,
venue.
and all of
High
us
venue.
in
Yes,
Southeast Asia
for
want to
Westers, for
maintain
instance,
good
for the
links with
past
America.
3 years,
And
we've
that's
been
why many
organizing
countries
dances there. The last
had
time we were at the
extensive
Ghana International Mall
negotiations with the US,
at
and
Abuja,
eventually
we were
we have
there.
landed
On
slightly
21st
lower
of
tariffs.
September
around
every year, we
19%.
organize Osajifu Made in Ghana
interesting
Fair
how
at the
now we
Kwame
think
Nkrumah
of
Memorial
10
Park.
or
I know
20%
last
as
year,
practically
we
as relief.
I agree fully with you.
But we
And
started with nothing.
This year,
Exactly.
we also
So from our
organize
point of view, the correct
little
figure
other
is 0%.
grand sales,
But
both in Kumasi
10%
and
has
in
become the
Accra.
new
So
normal.
it's not like
What to do?
we have not
You
been,
could, though,
been
still
working.
suffer from
mandate, we still go out and carry
semiconductor
data.
tariffs on
So
and
is the
on
place such
pharmaceuticals.
that you can't
Are
hold
you in
events
discussion with US
We
and
are.
do you,
No,
and do
no.
you think that
Yes,
you will
it's a
get
construction
exemptions?
site now.
It remains to be seen. We are in
And
discussions with American
I'm
officials
told
on
you
this.
are.
But from what
is
we
it
understand
Casford?
from some of
Yes.
the large American firms,
Angel, yes,
like
yeah,
the
he said that.
pharmaceutical
He
companies,
said
some of them
it should
on
be
their
about
own
45%
have already
complete in 8
negotiated
months,
their
8
own
to 9
exemptions
months.
because they are investing
But still,
back in America.
there's
So
not
these are
much
the
we can do with a
pharmaceutical companies in
45%
Singapore.
completion
That's
project.
They're American
My lady,
companies, they're invested
Honorable
in
Chair,
America, so they get
respectfully,
their
I
own
indicated that it is
So
about
we are
the main
did you just
looking
refer
at
to
this
her
in
as your
greater
lady?
detail also to understand
because of
fully
my
what's
legal
the impact
background
on
with
the
Ron.
economy.
Honorable
You're a
Chair,
logistics hub. There
Honorable
are a
Chair,
lot
I
of
did indicate that
re-exports from Singapore.
it is between
And
45
supply
to
chains have been
50%
disrupted
complete,
because there is
and we've
pressure
had a
also from
schedule
the
with the
US
contractor, and
to
within the
remove
next 8 months it will be
Chinese
completed.
from
Respectfully
these,
submitted.
supply chains.
So,
Have you
hopefully
felt this
next
pressure
year,
and what
God
impact
willing,
has
we
it
should
had?
Not so much on the overall
have
flows
a
because if you
functioning
look
trade
at
fair.
global
You know, I
figures,
miss
trade flows continue. They are
those
just being
days, trade fair.
reconfigured into new
What we have
patterns of
currently,
trade.
my Honorable
so long
Chair,
as they are continuing,
respectfully,
especially in
it is
Asia,
a 10,000
Singapore
capacity
can remain a
exhibition
relevant
center,
hub.
which is
And we see that
multi-purpose.
continuing to be the
So
case.
you can be assured that
And we
in
are
the next
determined to
8 months
remain
it
at
will
the
be
center of
completed so that
these,
we can have one or
global
two
patterns.
first, but not
I
the
know
grand
that you
one
are under
because other
pressure to
projects
stop US
would be
advanced
ongoing.
chips
Thank you
from
very
getting
much.
to China.
So,
right?
how
Advanced
many
chips that you get
developers
in
do you have at
Singapore.
site?
What are you doing to stop
Currently, we have
Well, our position
two.
is very clear.
We are expecting the next one to come. That is the
on the basis
ADC,
of
the
our
one to
reputation
construct
for
the
rule of
technology hub,
and trust.
and others
And
would
so we
follow
are determined
respectfully.
and fully committed
When you are
to
signing the
maintain
contract,
the
how many
integrity of our
years
business
did you
environment.
included in a
We will not
contract?
tolerate businesses violating our laws. We have taken
Respectfully, we have a
strict
maximum
actions.
of 36
And when
months.
it comes to export control,
The 36 months from which year to which year?
That is left to
taking
the
advantage
director of
their
FNA to answer.
association with Singapore
I wasn't there.
to circumvent the export controls.
Okay,
of
one
other
last
countries.
thing
So
to,
where America
so,
is concerned, what we
you
have
said
done
two
is put in
developers.
place
So
robust
the rest of
arrangements
your
so that the
property or your
US
landed
government
property,
can take actions,
what has become of it, or what are you going to
companies
use
of
it for?
interest in Singapore if they so wish. And we
Respectfully,
will
Honorable Chair,
also extend
you can be
similar
assured that
arrangements for other
there
countries
are so
if they
many
would like
other
also to have
contracts
the
which
same
are
treatment
under
when
review
it comes
because
to
we've
their
not
export
come out
controls.
with the
Because
necessary
nowadays, export
you know,
controls is not limited to
finality.
America
We are
only.
unable to speak
Are you
to that.
surprised that
It is
economic
currently
growth hasn't
before
really
the
suffered?
ministry
Tariffs
to
were
assist us
supposed
review
to
it. So
do
once it
a
is
lot of
done,
damage.
we are
And
able
yet,
to give you a
whether you look
concrete
at the global economy, the
But by
recent
now, you
IMF
should be able to
report,
tell us
or
that you have
indeed
5.5
in
acres. You are using
Singapore,
2 acres
economic
for
growth
this,
has not yet
3
been
acres
affected.
for
Did we get
1
it wrong?
acre for
No, I don't
your
think we
sports
got it
complex,
wrong. I
the other
think
acre
there
for
are
this or
several
that. But
reasons
you
for
shouldn't
it.
tell us
One,
after you
the
have
actual
given two
rollout of
developers
the
part of the
tariffs
land. You
have
are now
not been
telling
as
us that the
high
document
as
is with
what
the ministry.
they
The ministry is
initially were
reviewing during the whole thing.
Honorable Chair.
Yes, you should, unless you don't want to tell us, but you should be able to tell us that with your 5.5 acres, you are using, you've given, a part out, the next acre is for this, the other acre
but
is
there
for
will
that.
be an impact.
After giving 2 out, what if you use it for something
in many ways,
that the developers who have already committed
like
to say, I don't want this in my
because
space?
we are so open.
My lady,
respectfully.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not your lady.
Honorable
We are the first to feel
the
it.
legal background is always a problem.
We didn't feel it in the first half of this year.
I thought that was
We are
your
starting to
passport
feel
background.
some slowdown
Yes,
now.
of course.
As we approach the second half of this year.
Once a custodian, always a custodian. Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Chair, so when it comes to the flagship program, which is costing
not less than $40 million. The agreement, as in the consideration that is to be given to the contractor, it is supposed to be somewhere around 26 acres of land, and like I stated, it is under review, so I am not able to give an emphatic statement. Again, when it comes to the horizontal development, the arrangement is that the contractor will be given 20 acres. This one is also under review. There is ADC, that is the Africa Development Company, which is supposed to create or construct the IT infrastructure. That one is 5.6 acres, but there is a bit of snag, and for that matter, we are unable to state emphatically because the second tranche of whatever is promised by way of consideration has not yet been done, and others, and so I wouldn't be able to give you. There is after secretariat, but considerations have not been able to pass on between us and them, and they to us. So we can't really be specific on those things, but I can assure you that about 90% of the land more or less are into some kind of agreement, and that is what I can say for now.
What's the total acres?
Because you can use lower entry.
All right, so Honorable Chair, respectfully, the entirety of the land currently is supposed to be 108.5 acres.
Start to realize that these are not so rare after all in America and its allies.
So
it is supposed to.
These things
yes,
will
because
happen.
there is, Honorable Chair, there is a problem. Originally, according to EIT 1967, 236 acres was acquired by the government of Ghana, and some parts of the parcels were ceded to the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel and that of Beach Hotels. So it was supposed to be left with about 156 and about 46 acres by way of some arrangements that we do not seem to understand and which we have petitioned. The powers that be has been given to Africa Lake Amusement Park. And looking at the original situation, we think that when such would be reverted to the trade fair, would be able to make good use of it. So that would account for about 46 out of the total. And again, there are few
that will account for 46 out of the 108.
So.
No, that is outside. But currently, what we can say on authority as drafted is 108.5 acres. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The exhibitions we have been organizing outside and paying for it, were we making profit or loss?
Going to be highly damaging to both economies and also highly destabilizing
honestly,
for the entire
we don't
global economy.
So
if they can
that
find ways to coexist,
usually break in.
Going back to your earlier question, Singapore and all of ASEAN countries will be able to navigate this
renting the venue alone
will be able
it's
to
a cost to us. And you see, we also have this government mentality. When you try to raise the exhibition registration fee,
America first,
exhibitors like you are a government institution. Government, we are supposed to support trade
in some
and
ways,
that. And
giving them
because we are also in to support SMEs. Sometimes we have
to make themselves even
we try
more
to give
independent
discounts
and
to the groups
you can see
so that at least we will have them also
China
coming to promote trade. So we don't actually make
model.
Profit
China's rise gives rise to a lot of unease in many parts of the world, not just because of its a rising power of tremendous scale, but because it's a power with a different economic model. And
all right, thank you very much.
But
I guess before
I think the world must realize that China will not converge with Western norms.
So I want you to share with us your vision for the Ghana Trade Fair Authority in a year or two.
Per capita GDP is just 1/5 of America.
Respectfully, Honorable Chair, please, I'm the Deputy CEO.
It's gone beyond catch-up.
CEO is on the national assignment.
Leader
and so once the question is addressed to the CEO, I pray that when she comes,
so we have
unfortunately, since you decided to take
accept the reality that China is not just a rising power; it is
since
a
you decided
power.
to take that responsibility on yourself, we need to. That is why we always say we want the head.
China itself recognizes
if you are not in a position to give us policy
and is thinking about what responsibilities
it
might
we don't see why you're
exercise
here.
as a leader in the global system. For example, it recently decided to forego its special differential treatment provisions.
It would be unfair for me to state that I do not know our policy direction, but respectfully, you indicated that you were addressing the question to a CEO.
Yeah, because you are here in that capacity, even though you are.
My lady, I'm here as a deputy CEO.
Yes, but all the questions that were
doesn't a country like
asked of
Singapore
you
then
was to the CEO.
Have to make
my lady, thank you very much. Honorable Chair, thank you very much. Let me quickly state that when it comes to policy direction from next January, you are going to see a better Ghana International Trade Fair so far as our mandate is concerned. We are going to augment our policies. We are going to augment our trade fair activities. What we met, we are going to make sure that we put in policy in place to make sure that our revenues would come in the necessary inflows. And then we also make sure that there wouldn't be only local or national assignments so far as exhibitions are concerned. We are also looking at international ones so that we are able to take Ghana to the next level.
But so what does Singapore do then?
Therefore, in this very unpredictable, messy period of transition, which can continue for years, maybe
had an
more than a
experience
decade.
where CEOs from Ghana Trade Fair Authority refused to attend upon Public Accounts Committee. So respectfully, this should be the last time we are pardoning a deputy CEO speaking on behalf of the CEO. But next time we would want to see the CEO himself or herself in the chair. Thank you very much.
Well accepted, thank you.
With other smaller
All right, now let's go to Ghana Standard Authority.
How do you see that system working and surviving?
Yes.
The efforts are multi-pronged. One, we have to reinforce and reinvigorate existing.
And the infraction is on paragraph 12,
for example, in the WTO.
And Honorable Frank here
consensus decision-making process.
Thank you, Chairman.
Principle has become a recipe.
Ghana Standards Authority.
We have to change that. We have to find ways
I want to begin by saying that you are not doing bad at all.
Well, you need the US for that, though.
You do.
Total
so we're not
income
discounting the role of America.
grew by 24%.
Some of us should start moving.
And this is mainly as a result of increasing your RGF.
And in time to come,
so the drive that
is
producing that effect should be continued.
Today, maybe down the road it
what is not too
we
good
have to do that in terms
of your financial performance,
which we are doing,
is the fact that there's a marginal decline in your surplus.
New initiatives.
In 2022, you produced a surplus of 28 million.
That's the one with
by
the
2023,
it
came down to 26 million, and this is mainly due to increase in employees' compensation. I don't remember government increasing employees' compensation by 33%. So I don't know whether you employed new staff or what accounted for the huge increase of 33% in employees' compensation.
But to think about what new ideas we can put on the table.
The increase was due to government giving us clearance to employ 173 staff
across our economy.
So that created the
standardizing
employee
rules,
compensation going
regulations, customs, documentation, and enabling.
As I said, you're not doing bad, so I'm not going to bother you so much. So let's move to your
data flow,
financial position.
And if we can have new initiatives like
your non-current assets,
we might be able to multilateralize
grew by 20%.
You are
and
a massive
this is mainly due to
in the US.
acquisition of additional
and around the
I'm hoping that whatever you acquire will put into good use to generate more returns for the authority. Your your current assets grew by 50%, and this is mainly due to cash and cash equivalent.
Or is it?
And this is reflected positively on your current ratio, which moved from 5
right now,
5 is 5 to 1 in 2022 to 12.1 to 1 in 2023. So it means that you have enough cash or enough current assets to meet your short-term liabilities. So I
And
Just
for
want to
now,
say that you're doing
while
well,
the
so
risk
keep it up.
premiums
It's
at
a
the
good sign.
macro level may
Mr.
increase
Chairman, I don't have much
in
to say.
America,
They are doing
we
well.
still see a lot of leading-edge
All right,
technology.
the next infraction
tremendous
is
dynamism
on,
in American enterprises.
No,
So we
this
remain
wasn't an
invested in
infraction.
these
This is a
companies.
financial statement.
But it's not
But then the
America
next
alone. We
one
continue
is,
to look out for
which is an
opportunities
infraction,
around
is
the
on
world,
paragraph
in Europe and in
299.
Asia and other parts
And
of the world.
Honorable
as well.
Jeffrey
What
King
about
will take
Europe?
care of them.
There is an opportunity for Singapore.
Thank you, Chair.
Politically, economically,
This
on the
infraction
investment front,
has to
have
do
a
with
closer
Very
unretired
much so.
with the
We
EU.
think
interest.
Europe will be also a key player in
Unretired
this multipolar
interest.
environment. Europe is a major
An amount
power
of
in its own right. And Europe will be a key player in this new global
147,053
environment.
Ghana cedis
So we are keen
was
to
released
forge
to
closer
two
links
of your
with Europe.
employees as
We
interest.
already have very close links with Europe between Singapore and the EU.
This amount was not
but we are
supported
looking
by
at how we can
any
bring different groupings together, and there are
document like
opportunities to do so between the
spreadsheets, sorry,
CPTPP and the EU,
sign
for
sheets
example. We have been having
receipts.
discussions on a more formal
So it was
partnership
difficult for the
that
Auditor General
accounts
team
for
to
something like 40%
interpret the
of
usage
global
of the
trade
money.
between EU and ASEAN.
Due to that, they
Incidentally,
directed
EU has
that
already
the
signed
said
or
amount
moved on FTA. It's
be
not just with
recovered
Singapore,
and
but with
paid into
several
government chests.
ASEAN member countries. So if we can get EU
I want
and
to ask
ASEAN
whether
together on an
the
FTA
money has been
discussion,
fully recovered.
that will be another 1/3 of global trade. So these we see as new
Honorable Chair, the
opportunities
monies
to
have been
reinvigorate
recovered.
trade. I mean, we are in a world
you've
where
given the audit
the
service
global
a copy
system
of
is starting
the
to
sign
see more and
sheet
more,
and statement of
becoming more and more clogged up. But we would like to keep the
Auditor
arteries
General,
of trade
can you
open
confirm
and
from
maybe
the office?
create new arteries. And that's why we see these strategic opportunities with Europe.
Honorable
Does
Chair,
this new world
They
order
provided
that is
documents
yet
to
to
support
emerge,
an amount
does
of
it require any domestic changes in
122,092.55.
Singapore towards
Then the
more
balance of
political liberalization?
24,960
I ask also because
was refunded.
you would have
Thank
seen
you.
that there's a new youth movement that's emerging in different
So what
parts
happens
of,
to,
of the world
or
in
has
Asia
it been the
and also
practice
in,
that monies
in
from the
Africa, the Gen
outfit
Z movement.
can be released
Tell
without
me
any supportive
how you are
document?
thinking about the future on domestic, social, and
Honorable
political
Chair, before
liberalization.
the monies will be released,
The two are connected. It's a
statements
relevant question.
on how the
changes
money
in
will
the
be
global
spent
order,
is attached.
as well as the
So when the officer
sort of youth
finishes
movement that you see
the
around the world.
assignment
And
that
we
have been
see
given to
growing
him or
anxiety
her,
amongst young
it
people
brings
everywhere in the world.
statement of accounts,
In China, they talk
and the
about lying
remaining
flat.
balance is
In
paid
Japan,
into the
there's a term,
authorities' account.
hikomori.
So that is how it's
staying
done.
in the home, not going out. And I think in America, Europe, you talk about the great resignation and all sorts of other terms. So you see that level of growing anxiety among
All right,
young
the
people
next
because we
one
are
is
in a
on
different
paragraph
environment, less stable,
1304. And
more
about
chaotic, more disorderly. So
Honorable
naturally,
Alexander
young people
Hotoche.
are more concerned about their future. We feel that in Singapore too.
Thank you,
So
Mr. Chairman.
From a political point of view,
Mr. Chairman,
from a
this has to
domestic
do
point
with
of view, our
avoidable
focus
overseas
must be to find ways to give
trouble
assurance to our young
of
people, to give
73,000.
them that confidence that they can
809
chart a better
Ghana
future
cedis.
for themselves. And that's
The
what we are
auditors
determined to do. in
realize that
Singapore.
What's been
an officer scheduled
the
to travel to
hardest
Burkina
thing
Faso
that you've had to do
and Democratic
since you
Republic of
became Prime
Congo
Minister?
did not have visa. Hence, the authority had to pay an extra cost
many hard things.
of
We don't know the
182
hardest.
cedis to reschedule his flight.
Have you been to see Trump?
In addition to that,
Not yet.
they also
Okay,
realized
so you haven't done the hardest.
the leader of the delegation to Abu Dhabi
We might
did not
have a
use
chance to meet
the
when
ticket
he
purchased
comes,
for him
if he
by
comes
the
for the
authority.
ASEAN summits, which he has
due
said
to
he
the
will.
non-availability
Yes,
of
yes,
a
because he has to
troubled
sign
visa.
the peace agreement.
He
Well,
later submitted
I'm
a
not
claim
sure
to the authority
whether it's just for that,
and
but
was
if he
paid
comes
a
to the
refund
ASEAN summits, there may be a chance to meet him. I've had a phone call with him late
627,
last
made
year.
up of
It went well.
49,000,
I'm sure there'll be opportunities to meet.
327
Okay,
flights.
so we take that out. That's not the hardest.
I think
What is
the
the
hardest
hardest?
has been really in
vehicle from
managing
Dubai to Abu
people.
Dhabi and back.
You don't
The
realize
above
the
situation
extent of
resulted
it until
in
you get into this job.
unnecessary additional
right?
costs
Which is
of
that
73,000.
I'm not just prime minister, I'm leading a party.
They are recommending that
I'm leading a party. I
that
go
money
into
of
elections,
73,000
and you have to then think about
809 be
which
paid
are
back
the
to government chest.
members of my team
How
who
far
I
have you gone with
to
that?
drop, because I want renewal. And one of the keys to the PAP success has been
and zero
full
is
focus
made of two
on renewing our team
different people.
every election.
One of the officers was sent out to go and work, do calibration work in
very easy
Burkina
to say,
Faso
let's just
and
continue
DR
with the
Congo.
status quo. I don't
When
want
he
to
got
offend
to
anyone.
Burkina
It's okay,
Faso and
we all
finish
move along.
his
But then
work,
if I
he was
do
supposed
less
to
of the
move from there
renewal,
to
I will pay the
DR
price
Congo.
for it.
But the
5, 10,
application that
20
was
years from
made
now.
for the
So
visa was
having to
unsuccessful.
look
So with
hard at
discussion
the
with
members
the
of the
travel
team,
agent, they
speak
suggested
to
that
each
for
one
us
of
not
them
to incur more
individually and
costs,
say, I'm sorry,
we have to let the officer
I'm
come
not
back
able
to
to help,
Ghana
allow you to continue.
and
I have
obtain
to
the
drop you.
visa and move.
That was very painful.
So party
in all
management.
that
Yes, that was
particular
very
issue,
painful.
the
Not easy to do.
Burkina Faso to
And
Accra
I had to
cost
steel myself to do it
of
and manage it, and I'm glad we had a
5,456.
good election outcome at the end.
And from Accra
Thank
to
you for
DR Congo at
your
the cost of
time, and hope to see you again soon.
4,760. So that makes the total amount of the 11,182 is the cost of the airfare to Burkina Faso and Democratic Republic of Congo. The authority paid only the difference of 966 for the rescheduling of the flight. The other one, which was the delegation, the one who led the delegation to Abu Dhabi, could not use the ticket. And therefore, the authority who bought the ticket on credit did not pay for that amount, which is the 85,371. Later, he had his agent to buy him the tickets, and the travel between Abu Dhabi and Dubai cost him 13,300.
Mit Resi.
Making the air ticket plus
Der Rote Börsenkraft, die Gesellschaft Plurale Ökonomik in Wien und die Mastervertretung Volkswirtschaft an der WU Wien. Ich danke euch ganz, ganz herzlich für diese Zusammenarbeit. Es war fantastisch, großartig. And I thank all the...
So that is the situation of the I don't understand.
I thank all the people from the media who are here. We are very happy that you're interested in what we are doing. The Bruno Kreisky Forum has, as Yanis said tonight, a long-standing relationship with Yanis Varoufakis, and we are hoping to go on working together for a better future. Thank you very much, Yanis, for coming. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, during the audit, that wasn't it. So
I was asked to say some words on behalf of the co-organizers of tonight's event, the Society of Pluralism in Economics, and that's right.
Incurred by the entity.
The Rote Börsenkraft, the current and traditional student representatives of economics at the Uni Wien, and the Student Council of Economics at the WU. And I promised to keep it short because I know no one's here to listen to me talk, but to hear Yanis talk, and that's why I'm here. So all I want to say that there are very many reasons why all of you are here, so I'm not going to list them. I'm going to tell you why we're here, and with we I mean my colleagues. Number one, as advocates for pluralism in economics,
were you there at the time of the audit?
we were more than eager to have you here.
Didn't they point out this
number
issue
two,
to you
in
during
the
audit?
recent Viennese elections, a third of the population
and did you
voted
explain
for
it well
the right-wing populist party. And arguably, many of these voters are simply looking for an alternative to the status quo. And evidently, we need to be able to offer them other alternatives. And luckily there are such alternatives. And we know that you propose those, so we're happy to have you those for there. Number three, finally, as economists and economic students, hearing about the apparent disregard of Yanis' economic arguments in the Eurogroup.
She said,
well, we were less than amused, and we wonder if economic knowledge has no place in politics.
When you have
then what's the point of studying economics? Did we choose the wrong profession?
I mean, this does not
so
work
we
anywhere.
hope to hear answers to all of these questions and more. And we're very curious, excited to hear Robert and Yanis later. So on behalf of everyone, welcome Yanis to Vienna. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, this statement that was made by the auditors of 73 is in two phases. One for the officer to work in Burkina Faso and DR Congo.
University of Vienna, thank you so much. Thank you to the Kreisky Forum, in particular to the Society for Economic Pluralism. I spent all my life, this is my natural habitat, by the way, a university and also a society which promotes economic pluralism. Because let's face it, one of the reasons why in 2008 global capitalism collapsed was because our societies, and in particular our leaders, had lost the capacity to subject their economic thinking to pluralist criticism.
It could be thousands cities. Tomorrow it can be 100,000 cities.
I called it an econobubble that burst.
So it's about
the idea that
the system
you
that you have in
can
place.
model the world
somebody wants to travel
on the basis of a mathematical model featuring a single person,
that does
a Robinson Crusoe,
visa and
who was his own employer, and therefore there could be no unemployment.
Yes.
And if there was unemployment, there was something wrong with the legislation, and trade unions were to blame.
Before issuing that ticket.
This econobubble burst at the same time as the financialization bubble burst. And the Euro crisis, which I suppose I'm going to be speaking about today, was a result of the inability of the architecture of the monetary union to sustain that bursting of the bubble that began in Wall Street and then very quickly moved to Europe, managing to usurp our political process by means of an ideology that was based on the lack of economic pluralism.
So we take you by the way.
What you folks are doing here,
because I mean, it
is very
doesn't
dear
sound
to my heart, and I think it's a
very
very central part of the conundrum that we're facing in
I'm sure
Europe
900
today.
you can pay from your pocket, but it's about the lapses in the
As
system.
an academic who
And
happened
you have to be correct.
turn
You need to
politician
tighten the
almost
You
accidentally.
don't just issue tickets without visa.
Allow
It
me
doesn't work
to
anywhere. Sir.
introduce what I have to say today.
Sir, you said something that you bought a ticket
in the form of,
for somebody
of an
to go
anecdote.
to Abu Dhabi.
I was in Brussels,
and
I
they
remember,
couldn't
sometime in
use the
February.
ticket, or they couldn't go.
And I was
Why?
speaking to a quite high-ranking Austrian national who is also
Honorable Chair,
a person of importance and power in the corridors
person
of
involved
power
is a
in Europe.
minister. So it
And
was assumed that with his
at some point he said to me,
diplomatic
"You
passport, he can
realize,
travel
Yanis,
to
that
Abu Dhabi
the young people
without
of
any
Austria
cost."
are
But
only
then,
interested in one
when
question."
He got there, he
And I
had
said,
an issue
"What
because
is that
some of
question?
the airline doesn't
Will they
take,
get their money back from Greece?
some of the diplomatic passports.
Now,
So,
I hope you're not
without
here
visa.
for this purpose.
So unless you get a visa, you
Indeed, the
cannot
fact that you're
fly on
here
that particular
confirms my
airline.
suspicion
And that was the issue
that
with this
he was
particular
completely
one.
misguided as to what the
So
young
why
Austrians
was that the fault
are
of the
concerned with.
auditors?
Moving to another anecdote.
Why was it the fault of
I
the
believe that
auditors?
Mahatma Gandhi
That you would say that if
once
they had read it
was
properly.
asked what he thought
there-
about
there's a
European
document attached
civilization.
to it, the reason
And that
why
thought came to me, that memory of that
disembarked-
quotation came to
that
me
has been something-
in
Sir,
Brussels.
if I were you, I wouldn't go to that
Watching
tangent.
in action
Because the auditors
are
will keep on
Eurocrats.
coming to your place.
The Eurogroup,
And you
the
are
European
belittling
Council,
them on national
our
television.
politicians.
They will come and see you.
And
again.
Gandhi's response to the
Honorable
question
Chair,
of
I
what he
withdraw.
thought about European civilization
Now you've withdrawn it.
Yes.
came back to me.
Let me go deeper into
Do you know what
it.
do you remember what he
Okay,
answered?
now let me call Ghana
He said,
Supply
it would be a
Company.
great idea. Similarly with the European Union,
Ghana
when you are
Sup-
inside those
Standards
buildings
Authority.
and you watch the
Madam would want to ask
unfolding
you.
discussions and debates
it's
and
about, is it your
shenanigans
lab?
and political or
The lab,
bureaucratic, I should say,
or is it a
processes,
lab, a facility that you have there to test?
it's very easy to be
some
lulled
complicated-
into a false sense
Yeah, how-
that
how-
you
how
belong
is- how is it,
to a European Union.
functioning?
Indeed, it would be great to have a European Union. It would be a splendid idea.
Honorable Chair,
But we
It
don't have
saved
one.
someone I knew. That's why I'm
We
asking.
have
How is it functioning?
processes
Is it,
and we have
does it need help?
institutions
If there's anything we can do to
that
make
at
sure,
least
I mean,
in my
it's
estimation,
up and
and I will
running
say a few more
properly,
things about
like it's
this
supposed
tonight,
to do, because, like I said,
are
it saved someone. And so that's what I'm
presiding
asking.
over
How
a
is
process
it,
of fragmentation,
functioning? What
of
is it that you
divergence,
feel
of
government can
deconstruction
do,
of our union.
public accounts can do,
The reason
and
why
through government to make sure
there is so much
adequate budgetary allocations
uncertainty
are made so that
and
it
so
will
much fear,
continuously serve,
which
continuously
then
serve
manifests
the purpose
itself
for
in a
which it is
variety
there.
of nasty ways and in a
Honorable
variety of
Chair, our
failures
labs
throughout the
are
continent
working very well.
is due to this underlying
Our
process
only
of
problem is
disintegration, that began
more money to
once our monetary union was hit by the maelstrom which originated in Wall Street. This is not the first time this happens to Europe. In 1929, Wall Street collapsed, and the common currency of that era began to unravel. It was the gold standard.
Passport. So in your outfits,
one proud nation turned against another. Sometimes proud nations turned against themselves. And we know what happened towards the end of the 1930s. In 2008, our generation's 1929 hit, and the common currency of our era, which was designed, by the way, along the lines of the gold standard of the 1920s, as if we're a bit like the Bourbons. We forget nothing and learn nothing.
So we've noted
this disintegration that began after 2008 has begun a process of turning one proud nation against another. The Greeks dislike the Germans dislike the Greeks, everybody dislikes the French.
Okay, now
the British
Supply
want to get out.
Limited.
The Irish are worried that if the British get out, what are they going to do? So we have a process of disintegration.
It's an agency and
but there are good reasons why that is. And there are excellent reasons why we need to stop this process. Allow me to juxtapose, to compare and contrast two narratives,
in
two stories.
Case, we are done. But
one is the official story
for a public interest question.
From the essence of the Euro crisis.
Thank you.
And it goes something like this. I'm sure you're familiar with it, but let me just restate it for the record once more.
I refuse to look at you directly.
Created the Eurozone.
I'm intimidated.
Along the lines of very specific rules.
The
Maastricht Treaty, if you recall.
Rules that govern under the Ghana Enterprises Agency.
Levels and, that are considered to be maxima concerning
enable youth
budget deficits for member states
across the country.
Concerning debt to GDP ratios,
nothing is happening.
Rules
for instance, when I take my
constrain the functioning of the European Central Bank, the Charter of the ECB, the no bailout
in the
clause.
Last 1 year,
it was a rules-based monetary union of sovereign
but
member
it is not
states.
functioning. What is happening, Minister?
And the dominant story is that people and governments did not play by the rules. There was a violation of these rules. There was a kind of free rider logic. You assume that everybody else will respect the rules. You don't have to respect them yourself if everybody does their duty and respects them.
To invite the private sector.
Deficits and debts build up. There is profligacy. Some countries live beyond their means.
Some of them
then
have been constructed,
those bubbles burst, especially as a result of financial sector collapse that emanated from Wall Street. And then Europe started paying the price of the rule violations of the previous years, period before 2008. And
that includes the banana
it found itself in a situation where it had to create new institutions and to reinterpret the rules, add to those rules new rules like the fiscal pact, the six-pack, the two-pack, and so on, in order to bring Europe back to the rules that it had agreed to during Maastricht.
We are doing a lot
and
to make sure that those factories
if we stick to our guns and remain disciplined, we will see this crisis through.
Thank you for
we have to build resilience through
the invitation
belt tightening,
firms should come
because you cannot cure
so they come
debt
to your ministry,
problems,
or where do
bankruptcy with more debt, and that the countries that elect governments like ours that are recalcitrant and they demand the right to violate the rules have to be reined in. And the fact that you can have a democratically elected government in Greece which challenges those rules doesn't mean anything, because there are another 18 countries that have their own democratic mandate, and one country's democratic mandate cannot
this was
counter
an office that was set up to
overcome the mandate of the rest.
After in Ghana, I mean,
austerity was the only alternative. According to this narrative, it had to be introduced. The banks had to be bailed out.
Because
the no bailout clause had to be violated, but in a way that minimizes the degree of rewards afforded to those who broke the rules.
I'm hearing this for the first time. And I want
also,
to find out,
we have, as part of this narrative, a certain tendency for celebrating the success of this program. Ireland, Portugal, Spain are hailed as success stories. And in this context, the fact that the democratically elected government of Greece, to which I was a member, was crashed in June, July, is considered to be a price worth paying in order to preserve the solidity of the Eurozone and the righteousness of everybody else who played by the rules. This is one narrative.
I'm reliably informed that salaries of
workers, I think that you're familiar with this. We read stories and political and hears political speeches, especially east of the Rhine, north of the Alps, which are predicated upon this version of the story.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
And allow me as a Greek to say that there is a Greek that bears significant responsibility for this narrative.
So there is a senior officer
his name was Aesop.
In the place. And
He's
as far as I know,
because with his parable of the ants and the grasshoppers,
is being paid.
He created a story tale by which
in their working.
The terrible grasshoppers who basked in the sun and had fun during the good times.
I don't want to drag this matter. Just go
find
back
their comeuppance when the winter comes.
And you know
and when they knock on the door of the industrious ants who've been working all summer to save up for the rainy day.
Okay, Minister, you had
those ants may offer the dying grasshoppers in the middle of winter some of their accumulated stock of food, but they will only do under very stringent conditions. The notion that all the ants of Europe live in the north and all the grasshoppers have congregated in the south and in Ireland would be quaint if it were not so catastrophic. So let's blame a Greek, and I choose Aesop to be the one we blame. The reality, of course, is quite different. There are ants and there are grasshoppers in every one of our member states in the Eurozone. So allow me now to recalibrate the Aesop story in the context of the second narrative. Not the official one, but the one that I want to communicate with you. In 2000, we created, as I mentioned before, we recreated the gold standard in the heart of Europe. We created a fixed exchange rate regime that was extremely tightly knit because we gave up our currencies. It's not just that we fixed the exchange rates. We fixed them in a way that was more or less irreversible by doing away, with these currencies and replacing them with the euro. But we forgot to add to this monetary union the shock absorbers which are necessary in order to do two things. Firstly, to prevent shocks from coming, and secondly, from absorbing them when they come. Instead, we removed shock absorbers from Central Europe and ensured that when the shock would come, it would be maximal. Let me be a bit more specific about this. Take Germany and take Italy, or let's take Germany and Greece, because these are the extreme cases that resonate in people's minds. Greece always had a deficit, trade deficit vis-à-vis Germany. Always did, always will. In the same way that East Germany has a trade deficit vis-à-vis West Germany, that London has a trade surplus vis-à-vis Yorkshire and Wales, and always will. Yeah? This is what happens within Austria. There are deficit parts of Austria and surplus parts of Austria. Within Vienna, there are deficit and there are surplus suburbs of Vienna. This is what happens when you have a macroeconomy. There are deficit and surplus parts. When two different economies and political economies are bound together
and the member of parliament for
through trade, but they still retain their currencies, the deficit country's currency constantly devalues.
My name is Richard
and that is a shock absorber that
Director General Administration,
effectively
of Transport.
Puts the brakes on the expansion of the trade imbalance between the two. Because imports into the deficit country become more expensive and its exports to the surplus country become cheaper. So every time the Italian lira devalued, Fiat restored some of their competitiveness vis-a-vis Volkswagen. Oops, shouldn't have said that word.
Director of Finance, DVL.
One mentioned diesel engines.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Nathaniel Amonuos.
Now, when you lock those currencies together, and when you replace them with a single currency,
your infraction is just one.
No, what happens then?
On paragraph 29,
the deficit-surplus relationship is maintained.
And Honorable Kinney would
still, the deficit country will have a deficit vis-a-vis the surplus country. But
this infraction is about an end salary.
The cash that moves from the deficit to the surplus country, every time an Italian buys a Volkswagen, a Volkswagen goes to Italy from Germany, and a bundle of cash goes from Italy to a German bank account, usually somewhere in Frankfurt. So, a mountain of capital that is amassing in the financial center of the surplus country is by definition the other side of the current account surplus that country has vis-a-vis the deficit country.
The Auditor General recommended that
now, what does a banker fear most? Idle cash. Money that is sitting there in the bank, not being lent. That is the worst nightmare for a banker, to have money that he or she is not lending out. Now, when there is this mountain of money, or if you want a lake of idle cash in Germany, in Frankfurt, due to the fact that Germany has a large current account surplus vis-a-vis Spain, Greece, Italy, there is a tendency for the German banker to want to lend it to the deficit country. Why? Because there is an oversupply of cash, of money, in the surplus country. So the price of money in Germany is very low. What's the price of money? It's the nominal interest rate, the yields. And because there is a dearth of capital in the deficit country, because it has flown to the surplus country, the price of money there, the interest rate there is high. So there is an interest rate differential. Interest rates are, by definition, much higher in the deficit countries than in the surplus countries. So the banker in the surplus country has an incentive. It's his job. That's his job. I mean, if they don't do that, they are in dereliction of their duties to their shareholders. It's their objective, therefore, and duty to take that money and lend it to the deficit country. Now, when the deficit country has its own currency, the banker in the surplus country thinks twice about it. Because if there is a danger of devaluation in the deficit country, you fear that you give this money to the deficit country, it will devalue. And then it will be hard for the debtor in the deficit country to repay you. But if you have a fixed exchange rate, that fear goes away. You think, oh, lending to Athens is the same thing as lending to Stuttgart. It's the same currency. There will be no devaluation. So what happens when you bind together disparate economies monetarily without introducing any other form of recycling surpluses and deficits is that there is a tsunami of capital from the surplus to the deficit countries. It is absolutely impossible to avoid that. In the history of capitalism, we've seen this every time. When the gold standard was created in the 1920s and fixed exchange rates became the norm, this is what happened. When Argentina pegged its currency to the US dollar, there was a tsunami of capital from the United States to Argentina. Same with Mexico. Same in the Eurozone.
You mean 11,000?
So what happens, however, is this. Surplus capital from the surplus countries comes to the deficit countries. The deficit countries are by definition, this is why they're deficit countries, at the stage of lower development of their industry.
Thank you.
So they have lower price cost margins. They are less competitive by definition. So the capital that flows into places like Spain and Greece goes into what?
Thank you, Minister.
Into creating bubbles in real estate.
I think
in Spain,
of late, we've fed a lot in the space
in Greece,
of DVLA.
It went into the state. The state borrowed that money and gave it to the developers.
Where they see you, would like to tell
aggregate debt, total debt goes up.
To tell Ghanaians what
and
exactly
this is the natural repercussion of having trade imbalances within a monetary union. We should have known that. Well, actually,
what exactly does he want to do?
We can have a discussion later.
Will he communicate
and also in the Q&A as to who knew and what they knew and what evidence is there of what they knew and who knew.
To make it
but I'll leave this for later.
And also
now, the moment you have in the deficit countries bubbles being created in the housing market, for instance,
What is
you know that the moment the banks have a problem,
and so we're giving him the opportunity,
and they find it very hard to lend to one another, and they start fearing that they will lose their money, they will simply stop refinancing these loans, which sustain those bubbles. This is what happened in 2008.
Thank you.
In 2008, the financial sector collapsed for its own reasons, beginning in Wall Street. Suddenly, Deutsche Bank stopped lending to the Spanish, to the Greeks, to the Irish. But those bubbles that were sustaining the high growth rates in the deficit countries were debt fueled. So if you switch off the liquidity from the German banks, these bubbles burst. When they burst, construction workers lose their job. That creates a chain reaction throughout the deficit countries, Spain, Greece, Ireland, and so on and so forth. And suddenly, those debts to the German bank become unpayable. Because the incomes from which they have to be repaid shrink, and there's no refinance. It's a typical case of bubbles that burst, and the burden of adjustment falls on the deficit regions.
To
now,
Elmina, to
when this happens,
Winneba, or to Weja,
there are two things that we can do.
Delivered to you.
One is
it tells you that
to pretend that it didn't
have
happen.
access. That's why people take advantage
to pretend
of the
that there is no
and
bankruptcy
engage
problem.
in all manner of guru boys. But
rogue
when
bankers,
offices are
bankers that
at least
are
in
themselves
every region,
insolvent,
or at least
and they do not want to reveal that they are bankrupt.
The magnitude of cars are huge.
When they have lent to many developers, and those loans have gone bad,
currently,
they will never admit
we had 34.
Because if they, what does it mean to admit it? To write down those debts, to take their books and where in the asset column to say, well, Hans owes me 100 million, but Hans has gone bankrupt. So I'm writing it off. If you keep doing this, which is the right thing to do, then at some point the ECB or the Central Bank of Austria will come in and will look at your books and say you're insolvent and take you over. And you either resolve your bank or recapitalize it with state money, but you as a shareholder lose your control of the bank. So if you're a rogue banker, what you have a tendency to do is to extend and pretend. Are you familiar with the concept of extending and pretending? So what you do is you say to France, I know that you're bankrupt, but let's pretend you're not. So I'm going to give you another 50 million,
okay, so please continue.
From which you are going to be pretending to be making the repayments, so that I don't write off your loan. Because if I do, then I lose my bank. What do you think? He likes this idea. He's bankrupt, he gets a lease of life. You never know. In 3 months' time, he may win the lotto or something. Or there may be a miracle. That's what rogue bankers do. This is what we did in the Eurozone. When the bubbles burst in the periphery, beginning with Greece, what happened in May 2010? The most bankrupt state in Greece, in the Eurozone, which is Greece, we could not refinance our public debt. We were given the largest loan ever in human history in order to pretend and extend, to pretend that we are meeting our repayments, extending the crisis to the future. But actually it's worse than that. With France, the rogue banker would never think of saying to him, you know, France, I'm going to give you an extend and pretend loan on condition that you shrink your income. You would never do that. This would be completely irrational and mind-boggling. Yeah? But this is what they did with Greece.
Where we go around communities to also educate
the 110 billion that was lent to Greece in May 2010 came with austerity strings attached, which with mathematical precision would shrink Greek national income massively. In the end, it was more than a quarter. More than a quarter.
We have also done what we... we are also having a foreign policy.
It's like me saying to you, I know you can't repay your credit card loan, so I'll give you another credit card with which to, from which to draw money to pay the first credit card on condition that you shrink your income. If I were to say this, you would think that I'm completely nuts, and you would have me interned into some lunatic facility.
We need your biometric details to
but this is what happened with Greece.
With the driver's license.
But they are
not here.
So most of the license they have nobody did this because they didn't understand what they were doing. The only reason why it happened was because the Bundestag had approved 500 billion of a bailout for the German banks a year before. And the German federal government was not up to it politically to go back to the Bundestag and say, listen, folks, I know we've just given Frankfurt 500 billion, but now the Greeks are going under, and they owe a lot of money to the Frankfurt banks and to the French banks, and the French banks owe to the German banks. So, if we allow Greece to default, then we, the Bundestag, will have to give another large loan to the banks. First time Chancellor Merkel went to the Bundestag to secure that 500 billion for the banks, it was political poison for her. She couldn't do it again. So, instead she went to them and said, the grasshoppers of the South, Greeks, overspent,
for our clients,
they violated the rules, and now we have to save it. We don't like doing it,
the current number plates we have,
but for the purposes of preserving the Eurozone and European solidarity, we'll give them 110 billion. A bailout for Greece. It was not a bailout for Greece. It was a bailout for Deutsche Bank, Finanzbank, BNP Paribas, Société Générale. 90% of that money went to those banks. Do you know how much, what proportion of the latest bailout, the one which I didn't sign in July, the reason for me being here as a former finance minister is I didn't sign that. Of that 85 billion, the third loan, do you know how much will go to the Greek state?
They have what we call the custom documents.
It's a radical number. Zero.
Chassis number.
So
bring the
when we talk about bailouts, we should
get a place,
be analytical about exactly what we're referring to as the subject of the bailout. Who is being bailed out? In May 2008, it was clearly the banks of Northern Europe. What should have happened? The alternative would have been to allow the Greek state to default. If you're bankrupt, you shouldn't borrow more money until you stop being bankrupt.
Which tells you that nobody can buy
Is this a very radical left-wing concept? I don't think so. I think that any sensible person, especially a right-wing conservative person, would agree with this. So this is how I became politically active.
With what we had, some of the vehicles,
in Europe, we've reached a stage where you have to be a radical left-winger in order to put forward very conservative, common-sense proposals.
Security information. You wouldn't need DVLA to be in office before.
And everybody else is extending and pretending.
Information out.
Do you think anyone believes that the third bailout program that I didn't sign in this last summer is going to have any chance of being sustainable in Brussels or in Frankfurt?
Then it's also helped
no.
to prevent smuggling of cars.
And how do I know that?
Now,
what kind of security details are you going to put?
Now it's
so why are they doing
it? Chip embedded.
It's extending and pretending.
Chip embedded,
while at the same time celebrating the end of the crisis. So, to put it very bluntly, before 2008, we had fake growth in the periphery. Fake growth. In American terms, Ponzi growth. A pyramidal scheme. That fueled unsustainable debt, creating bubbles which gave a semblance of growth. And you had Greece growing at 5% when Germany was struggling to reach 1% of growth.
Rankings number plates.
And after the bubbles burst, we had Ponzi or fake austerity.
Security features.
Because there's nothing austere about borrowing hundreds of billions.
They'll know that truly belongs to ranking.
In my mind, austerity is about belt tightening.
Because in
doing with less.
Out somebody's security
but Greece has borrowed more money than any country in the whole world. Where is the austerity?
That is why I'm asking.
Where is the belt tightening? We had debt-fueled, unsustainable debt-fueled growth before 2008, and we have unsustainable debt-fueled austerity now, which is creating a humanitarian crisis that is poisoning the political scene, turning one nation against the other.
So we are not going to move away from
Greece should not be important.
The user's surname.
To me, it will always be important because it's my home.
It depends on what the law says.
But it's only a pipsqueak.
You don't tell me it depends on what the law says.
2% of Eurozone GDP. Why is it constantly in the news for 5 years? If the great state of Delaware was capable of causing a crisis of the United States for 5 years, permit me to suggest to you that would be a problem of the United States, not of the state of Delaware.
Sorry, but we don't put names on number plates.
If Greece maintains its position as the battlefront ground
what are you telling
of the Eurozone,
people pay to have their
and
names
constantly
on
undermining
and you sit here as a DVLA
the solidity of the Eurozone.
Numbers on
Allow me to suggest again
you seen specialized
that
numbers
simply indicates that there's something wrong with the Eurozone, with the way we construct it.
For yes or no, please.
You know, in the old times down
you don't put deep
mines, Belgium, here in Germany, in the Ruhr, Britain, miners used to carry with them
a
small cage with canaries.
That is what you said. You don't expect me to ask you that question because
and it was a harbinger
of terrible things
their
names on their number plates.
The purpose of the canary, because it had a weaker constitution than the miners,
and they have their to
die when the methane gas flowed as an early warning system that methane is happening. The canary was not responsible for the disaster.
And I said,
it was an early warning system.
That question.
Greece is the canary of the Eurozone. We fell on our face,
I think he was
first because we were the flimsiest social economy in the Eurozone, but the reason why we were capable, in spite of being a little canary, to spark off this domino effect
me to ask him that question
and
because we don't
remain
put names on number plates.
A subject of conversation and headlines.
This is something that even
simply
a 1, 2, 3 year old
problems
would know. That,
with
my
the
father has his number, name, because we have personalized number plates.
If you look at the history of the dollar zone, also known as the United States of America,
don't we have personalized number plates?
You will see that in the last 200 years, it too began as a flimsy union.
No, Minister.
The United States initially was a kind of confederacy.
He doesn't expect
it did not have the institutions that it has today. The American president, George Washington, the others that followed him, had very little power. They had a very small budget.
Out there, personalized number
even all the way up to 1932, there was a danger of the dollar zone breaking up. But the profound difference
that citizens of
between
Ghana
Europe
want to know,
and the United States of America, our union and their union, is that every time they had a crisis, every time they had a financial scare, every time they had an implosion, a debt crisis, a banking crisis, they got closer together. They created institutions that bonded the different states and the American people closer together. They had a civil war too, and that was also a bonding exercise, like family feuds usually are. One hopes.
The question should have been no.
Look at the way that the Fed was created.
To ask you
it was
that. Then why are you sitting in the chair as a
first decade of the 20th century as a result of a financial crisis. JP Morgan said, I've had enough of bailing out other smaller bankers. Let's have
because to be honest with you,
a state central bank
you see a lot
doing
of social
this
media. That this is
but
how
still,
the new number plate is
it
going
did
to
not
be,
have the
include
instruments that were necessary to solidify the United States of America. It took 1929 and the great crash then to bring about the New Deal of Franklin Roosevelt. With the FDIC,
I don't think I can come to your office and show you this respect.
Union, a system for resolving banks, for supervising them, which is continental-wide. It brought about social security and a degree of welfare state, especially for the elderly, that created transfers between the deficit and the surplus states, and the war, which brought about the military-industrial complex, which is the greatest investment bank in the world. When Boeing gets a contract from the Pentagon to build a fighter jet,
records available to DVLA
it also
at the end of
receives friendly advice, which is whispered into the ear of the CEO of Boeing from the Pentagon, saying, you know, if you really want this contract,
but I realize there is something
you know, you need to create, to build from scratch a new facility, a new production base in Tennessee, Missouri, Mississippi to build the engines or the wings of the new plane. That is deficit states where investment is needed to create the jobs that generate the incomes that allow those deficits to be repaid and allow the Tennessee residents and the Missouri residents to buy goods and services from California and from New York State, which are surplus states, so that those surplus states can see their surplus being reproduced. This is not philanthropy towards Mississippi and Missouri. It's pragmatism. It is the only way of making a monetary union work. Did we do any of this when we created the Eurozone? No. Imagine that the dollar zone was structured the way that the Eurozone is ruled over in 2008. And let's compare and contrast two jurisdictions, Ireland and the great state of Nevada. The weather is very different, the people are very different, but the population is similar, about 3 million. And the economies are pretty similar too, in the sense that they
clearly your revenue is going to go up.
Rely on a great deal of real estate, financial services, as well as low corporate tax.
Then your revenue is going to go up.
The parallelism.
that it will not be like I have
now,
seen
in
increase
2008,
in revenue, so then it should correlate with
if
an increase
the
in
United
operating
States
expenses.
of America were governed by the rules of the Eurozone, this is what would have happened.
You came in
the
to inherit
implosion
34
of
offices,
the banking system
and you have built 6
and
in
of
8 months.
the housing market,
You
would
have
mean that
commissioned.
the
So these were
developers, the
offices
builders,
that
the
were,
construction workers of the state of Nevada will be either bankrupt or unemployed, depending on whether they're employers or workers. The banks would be insolvent. And the state government of Nevada would have to go to the international markets, cap in hand, seeking loans to bail out their banks and to pay their unemployment benefits without the help of the Fed. In exactly the same way that Ireland had to do without the Fed of the ECB, Greece had to do without the help of the ECB. But of course, international investors, during a crisis, they stop lending. They go on a lending strike. So the great state of Nevada would be bankrupt. They would have to go to Washington, D.C. and beg for a bailout loan.
Then, in order
imagine
to
if
get
Washington, D.C. were to say to the state of Nevada, we'll give you a very large bailout loan, but on condition that you cut wages, you cut pensions, you cut everything,
and see how best you can
close down
partner
museums, you
with other private
reduce
persons,
expenditure
or
on health
you
and
commission.
education.
Now that you are getting in more revenue, you
And
can
the
look
state
to
of Nevada
establishing
government
offices
accepts that.
closer to.
But immediately that means that the
these
state income of
places
Nevada
where
would shrink,
you see a lot of
and it will go deeper
and I
into the
believe
whole
one, it will raise
bankruptcy.
your own revenue,
And what
two,
do you
it
think would
also
happen next?
reduce,
Well, that's a rhetorical question, I'll
the
tell you.
non-registration
The next thing is that
of vehicles.
Missouri would
So
fall on the same
this is
sword,
something you should
and
do.
then Mississippi, and then Arizona, and then eventually the crisis would hit California and the state of New York. The reason why the United States is recovering is because they were not structured that way. They were not structured like the Eurozone. In the Eurozone,
they are building for
going back to the official narrative,
Okay, yes, they have offices in most of
somebody
the
from
districts,
Brussels
so you are going to
standing
partner
here
with
would
them
say
to
yes,
ensure
but
you do that. I
Mr.
think
Varoufakis, you
it's
are
a good
ignoring
thing.
the fact that we consolidated
Chair,
too.
my question
We,
to the
like the
DBI
Americans,
boss,
after the financial
I've
crisis,
seen
created new
in the
institutions.
country, your men
And indeed
are
we
doing
did.
some good job.
We
where they are
created the
doing
European
mobile,
Stability Mechanism.
you have mobile team
We created the
that
banking
go around
union.
for
Who created
those
it?
who have
Well, we didn't
expired,
create. Mario Draghi conjured up
renewal
quantitative
where
easing.
they are not able to come to
These are all great departures from the
and
original
then your
design
team
of the
always
Eurozone.
issue receipt also for them.
But let me, ladies
I
and
would like
gentlemen,
to find out from you what
antagonize my friends and
technology are
colleagues
you
in Brussels and
employing
Frankfurt
for
by saying
not to physical
that
cash,
these were
because sometimes you may not know. Somebody
efforts
can use your receipts and then collect money and then revenue will not go
to
into your account.
restructure the Eurozone
What
in name
IT
but not in
are
substance.
you employing to actually
Let's take them one by one.
increase your revenue?
The European Stability
using that
Mechanism should be
strategy?
called the European Instability Mechanism.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
What does
We
it do?
are-
It
we
lends
use Ghana
to
.gov
basket case countries
through
like
the Ministry
Greece
of Finance.
and Portugal and so on,
Then we are also
and Spain,
we are about to sign onto the
by
cashless
borrowing
system.
itself
But you know, it
on
goes
behalf
through
of the rest of the
We
Eurozone.
are through. We are almost through with that.
How does it borrow? It issues bonds,
human intervention.
ESM bonds. It used to be
Yes,
EFSF
that is
bonds. The
where we are
EFSF
now.
graduated, became the ESM.
Where people will just
Now those
pay,
bonds
and then that's what you
are structured like the CDOs of Lehman Brothers. They contain different compartments. One part of the bond is guaranteed by the German state,
Yes,
another by the
Chief
Austrian
Lucas,
state, another by the French state, another by
so
the Slovak
your new
state.
system,
Each one of these
how does
parts
that
of each bond
build like one
comes with a
system
different
where,
interest rate and a different probability of default.
DVLA, the police
This was exactly
and
the
insurance
structured
are
derivatives
benefiting from
that
it.
Wall Street
For
created,
instance,
which imploded
I was in South Africa
in
recently,
2008.
and
Now the problem
every
with this
public
is
place
that
you
this
enter,
bond that I just described contains the domino
normal
effect within
security
it.
person there
Because
has a
if you're the
mobile app
marginal state, the state that
where
has not
he
just
can
quite
check
gone bankrupt but
the
may do so
registration
soon.
of the vehicle,
So think
and
of
also check
Ireland in
the
September of
validity
2010.
of the
Greece had
driver.
already fallen. Ireland was teetering. It was about
is
to
it
fall.
that you are building a
But
system
Ireland had to
where
borrow on behalf of Greece
he only resides
to lend to
because,
Greece.
like
So its
my
interest
brother
rates
said,
went up, it fell.
Now along the line you see people
Portugal,
wearing DVLA
which
and checking
initially
number
had
plates and all of
borrowed
that.
on behalf of Greece, now
That
had to borrow on
system
behalf of Ireland as
should
well.
be available
so it
to
fell.
the police. But it looks
So
like
the
the police have
ESM
limited
contains
access
within its
to your
structure,
information. So
it
the new
contains,
system, how does
because the
that
bonds are not
integrate
solid,
all three?
they're not homogeneous,
So that the insurance
they are
company,
compartmentalized,
the police,
fragmented, like the
and also
Eurozone is.
DVLA would have
The
one
ESM
system,
contains
one
instability within it.
road
This is why it's not being
traffic
used.
information system,
so that we all benefit.
The ESM was created so as not to use it.
Thank you very much.
And I can assure you that the powers that be in Europe, in Berlin, here in Vienna, our politicians are doing everything in their power to make sure that the ESM exists in name but not in substance. This is why I'm saying that we're reforming in name but not in reality. Let me give you a second example, which I mentioned before, the banking union. Now, it would be a splendid idea, as Gandhi would have said. We don't have it. We have something we call the banking union. But in effect, what it is common rules governing a banking disunion. Let me put it very briefly. In this country, you have a quite robust banking system compared to ours, or compared to the Portuguese, or compared to the Spanish. And also you have a state whose finances are much more solid than the finances of the Portuguese state or the Greek state. Yeah? What happens if a bank fails in this country? Well, your government is going to bail it out. So if you have €1 million, you don't. All of this, let's say you did. We're economists, we have to be able to assume anything.
It's before Parliament. Yes,
if you had €1 million in a bank account,
last one. I just want to find
you can rest assured that it will be there tomorrow,
details.
and the day after, and the day after that. But if you have €1 million in a Greek bank,
system of biometric details collection,
there's all this talk about the possibility of a bail-in as part of the banking union law.
Details.
So if the banks are discovered to have a big black hole in them, which they do, and the state cannot bail them out, then it's a political decision by the Eurogroup, which is made under conditions of complete opacity and lack of transparency. But just like it happened in Cyprus, it could be decided that Greek
to come and take their biometric
deposits above the minimum level, which is insured, which is 100,000, get bailed in, wiped out. Or at least partly wiped out. So €1 million in a Greek bank account do not have the same net present value as 1 million, to say pounds. See, I came from England. €1 million in an Austrian bank account do not have the same value as 1 million euros in a Spanish bank account, in a Portuguese bank account, or in a Greek. Is this a banking union? We have a monetary union and a banking union, but the same amount of euros has a different value depending in which bank it's been deposited. This is what you do. How do you design a banking union if you want to make sure that it is disunited and prone to another bout of sequential bankruptcies? And we call it a banking union because in Europe we are excellent at manufacturing beautiful labels, which mean exactly the opposite of the reality that they are meant to describe.
How technical?
Quantitative easing. Mr. Draghi is a highly competent central banker who unfortunately has to operate within a set of rules that could never be respected.
Look, let me ask this question.
Simply because they clash with reality.
About the insurance and
so
then
he has been spending his days and nights worrying about how to bend the rules in order to preserve the unity of the Eurozone.
Which one will come first?
And in the process antagonizes the Bundesbank, which keeps castigating him for bending the rules, which of course he is bending, because otherwise the euro will not survive. Quantitative easing is an attempt to replicate what the Americans did, what the British did, what the Japanese did, when interest rates hit zero, and you can no longer stimulate by reducing them to below zero. Because if you reduce them to below zero, people will simply remove their money from the banks, you will have a banking collapse.
That is short.
So quantitative easing is a practice of effectively purchasing from private banks some of their loans, some of the debt that they hold.
Ideally,
to give them liquidity, hoping that the banks are then going to lend it to the private sector to stimulate the economy.
That's a normal practice.
And it's the only reason why the Eurozone survives, Draghi tried to do it. But the constraints, the institutional constraints that he's facing are forcing him to buy more German bonds than Spanish bonds. Because he has to do it in proportion to GDP, so as not to be accused to be preferential vis-à-vis Spain. But Germany does not need its bonds to be purchased.
Yeah, I know there are
because Germany doesn't have enough bonds.
But we'll get him.
Germany is trying to run.
We'll get him to come another time.
So it's not issuing new bonds.
And explain to all
German financial institutions have to keep and buy those bonds for statutory purposes. They're obliged by German law to hold German government debt. So there is not enough supply of German bonds. So Mr. Draghi is forcing himself to buy bonds that he doesn't need, and by buying them, he's creating serious problems for pension funds in this country and in Germany, because interest rates go into negative territory. And pension funds have a serious problem returning a return to their investors, to the pension, to the prospective pension, to the future pensioners, to current workers. You can't make this up. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. We have a central bank which is forced to do things it knows are bad for Europe. And the excuse, of course, is, and it's not a bad excuse, that, well, doing this is better than not doing anything. But, you know, we've had 5, 6, 7 years, ladies and gentlemen, since the financial collapse of 2008, to reconsider what we do, to change the rules. Since when are we the servants of the rules? The rules are there to serve us. Isn't that so? Since when are the rules ends in themselves? They're instruments. And we created them to serve us. So if they no longer serve us, we should sit down sensibly, have a rational discussion and a free exchange, and decide how to change them. But no, that kind of discussion is not allowed. The moment you dare challenge the veracity and rationality of the current rules that everybody's violating, by the way, everybody's violating because they cannot be respected. But if you dare in the Eurogroup begin a conversation, you are faced with the horror, the nightmare of an academic. What is a nightmare of an academic?
There's a low
when you try to articulate an academic argument, and your interlocutor says, oh, but this is the way it is because this is the way it is. You say, okay, I know this is how it is, but why should it be that way? Oh, because it is that way. Yes, but why is it that way? Because it is that way. And you can carry on this exchange fruitlessly forever. This is a nightmare. And that nightmare is the state of debate in the great institutions and organizations that are running the world's most significant and substantial economy, which is the Eurozone.
Please give them some.
What I'm trying effectively to suggest to you is that behind the lull in the bond markets, which was created so dexterously by Mario Draghi, what we have under the surface is increasing deconstruction, increasing divergence. If you look at the Eurozone as one economy, it's getting more fragmented, not less fragmented. You have greater differences today than we